Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Thursday, January the 7th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 53. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, ESPN's Booger McFarland stops by at 7:30. Barstool Sports' Ben Mintz giving us 6 winners at 8 a.m. LSU Athletics Executive Chef Michael Johnson joins us at 8:30 answering your munchie questions, so get those into the Bayou 40 YouTube chat. And ESPN's Andrew Lopez talks Pelicans at 9:30. You can follow today's show on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Interact inside the Bayou 4 chat. And make sure you get subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 1 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome in Off the Bench. Hope you are having a wonderful Thursday morning. Congratulations to all of us. We are almost through the return week to work, which is always a tough one for all of 2020's faults. The Thursday-Friday combination of both Christmas Eve and Christmas and New Year's Eve and New Year's was quite spectacular, but what it did was make you never want to go to work again, and yet here we are. So if you're on your way to work, I hope you have an excellent day. Let's push through to this weekend, folks. We are right on the cusp. But before we get there, we got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, there's a couple of new big coaching hires in Baton Rouge that we're going to break down. There's also a big coaching visit going on this morning that we will get into as well. We'll talk some NFL with Booger McFarland. I have a bunch of random NFL thoughts. I've been thinking a lot about Chase Young and Tom Brady and Josh Allen. We'll get to all of that a bit later in the show. Your Munchies questions, Benny Mintz stopping by. It's going to be a great day. Also, a lot of basketball to break down today. A tale of two teams last night as LSU gets the SEC win over Georgia. The Pelicans, however, fall in disappointing fashion for the second game in a row. Andrew Lopez will help us make sense of it in the OT hour. But look, man, if you want to get involved in today's show, you already know we're live on YouTube, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we're going to be with you for the next 3 hours, breaking down all your favorite teams. If you're wondering where Jordy Collada is, he remains out on a little contact tracing, so it'll be myself, Musso, and Danny with you all morning. So grab a coffee, drive safe, don't text and drive, but let's have some fun here. Let's dive in to today's headlines presented by Barbecue Guys.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. They're your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Barbecue Guys, helping America host better barbecues since 1998.
On the basketball court last night, like I said, a tale of two teams. We'll start with the New Orleans Pelicans as they fall 111-110 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. An Oklahoma City Thunder team that is not particularly good. In case you haven't paid attention to the NBA recently, you may still, the Thunder have been really consistent over the past decade. You probably think, oh, well, there's no shame in that. Well, this is a Thunder team that is not too interested in winning. And so last night's result, very disappointing. Zion Williamson had one of his better games, going for 29 points, 11 of 15 shooting. Brandon Ingram was dominant once again as well. However, outside of that core, Zion, Ingram, Steven Adams trio, the Pelicans roster leaving a bit to be desired right now. They have got to get some scoring from elsewhere. Maybe the most disappointing part about last night's Pelicans game is that Zion hits the big shot with under a minute to go to put you up by one. The Thunder miss, and you have a golden opportunity to grab the board, make your free throws, and win the game, and yet somehow I think it was Al Horford, but somehow the Thunder came down with a rebound despite being surrounded by Zion Williamson, Steven Adams, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Also, why Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who was 0 of 4 from 3 on the night, took the final shot, I will have no idea when you're down 1 and Brandon Ingram was playing the way that he was playing. But that's okay. Look, these are all the problems that this Pelican team is going to have to continue to try to solve, continue to try to grow. They have to get better in crunch time. So a disappointing loss, a second in a row at home for the New Orleans Pelicans. They will now try to finish off their 4-game homestand with a win. In college basketball news, the LSU Tigers got their second SEC win of the season. They moved to 2-1, following a 94-92 overtime win over the Georgia Bulldogs. It was sloppy at the end. I dove deep into the 6-minute game, into the overtime period. We'll get to it a bit later in the show, but it wasn't all bad, right? I mean, when I looked at a lot of the reaction on Twitter, I guess it was just a byproduct of frustration or something, but it seemed like everybody was kind of throwing their hands up and saying, like, oh my God, dude, this was horrible. No, there were really bad plays made down the stretch, but there were really good plays as well. And the bottom line is that this early in the season, when you're still figuring things out, you're still finding those growth points, a win is a win, is a win is a win. And so you're not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. You will absolutely take this one. Remember how we talked about Cam Thomas yesterday? What a natural scorer he is. Well, that was on full display last night, is once again, even on a night where he does not shoot it well, Cam Thomas has managed to find a way to get to 26 points, and he did it at the free throw line. 15 of 16 from the charity stripe for the young freshman, including 7 of 8. If you look at, so Will Wade always talks about the 6-minute game, right? We'll talk about a lot today. But if you look at the final 6 minutes and you look at overtime, Cam Thomas goes 7 of 8 from the line in that stretch. That was, along with Javonte Smart's playmaking ability, that was the key difference in the game. So still, I mean, that kid is just a ton of fun to watch. If you're not, you need to be watching him. Enjoy him while you can. I don't know what his future holds, but he has got it. He might be the best freshman in the country right now, and that's not hyperbole. That's not an exaggeration. So the win moves LSU to 7-2, now 2-1 in the SEC. It's exactly what Will Wade and this team needed. Speaking of what you need, LSU football thinks they found what they need offensively. LSU has now created a Joe Brady coaching tree. They planted that seed, they watered it, they grew it, they pruned it, and here you go. The first branches, the first offshoots of the Joe Brady coaching tree are official, as Carolina Panthers quarterback coach Jake Peetz, who spent a decade in the NFL with a couple of Alabama stops interspersed within, is now your new offensive coordinator of the LSU football Tigers. We'll talk a lot of Peetz next, as well as the new passing game coordinator, DJ Mangus, who, of course, is former teammates, former roommates, and friends with Joe Brady. Look, Coach O was very upfront on his appearance here on this show on Tuesday, where he basically said, look, we talked to Joe. We said, what brains do you respect? Who do you think can run your offense? And that's who we're going after. Well, I don't want to get too nuanced here in headlines. But again, hires are always tough to judge. As far as parameters go, I like the youth. I like trusting in Joe Brady. I remain a bit skeptical about when you just hire somebody's friends. But ultimately, Mangus and Peetz will be able to earn their keep. I'll tell you why, though. I think I'm feeling bullish about the hires as a whole. And then on the opposite side of the ball, the far more exciting kind of name, the far more exciting prospect in terms of coaching would be the guy who's visiting today. Cincinnati defensive coordinator Marcus Freeman is in town. We'll talk a lot of Freeman next segment as well. The reason, so Peetz and Mangus, especially Peetz, they have good resumes, but nothing that's going to blow you out of the water or going to make you feel like, okay, this guy will be a surefire hit. When you're talking about Marcus Freeman's resume, you are talking about a guy that you feel will be a surefire hit, and he is in Baton Rouge today interviewing for that job. Again, O told you that on Tuesday. He said on Thursday we'll have our top target in town. That is Freeman. Let's see if they can land him the same way they did Peetz and Mangus. The biggest competition, the biggest potential hurdle to LSU hiring Marcus Freeman. Looks like it'll be the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, as there's some connective tissue there. He's already interviewed at Notre Dame. Let's see who ends up winning that battle for one of the hottest coaching candidates in the country right now. Going to be waiting on that news throughout the day, and we'll kind of get you primed for it next segment as we dive deep into Pete's, Mangus, and Freeman. So look, we have a huge show planned for you today. Stick around. Booger McFarland still coming up later this hour after some LSU talk. We got some great Sean Payton sound to break down later in the show as well. Again, if you want to get involved, if you like and share on whatever social media that you like, the YouTube, that helps us with the algorithmic gods, help spread the show, and we love you for it. So stick around. We got some more OTB coming up next, talking these new coaching hires.
OTB headlines are presented daily by Barbecue Guys. Remember, the most popular grill on the market is Blaze Grills, premium gas grills that combine expert engineering and dependable performance, all backed by a best-in-class lifetime warranty. Visit barbecueguys.com or our local showroom to learn more about Blaze Grills. Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
GEAUX roof.com, goroof.com. For any roofing problems that you may have, we want you to go with our guys over there at Go Roof. 927-8300 is the number. Again, it's super easy to remember, 927-8300. And there's a few reasons why you're going to want to work with him. First and foremost, you get a free professional estimate. So what that means is there's no upfront cost, right? You're not paying anything for them to come out to your home. They come out there for free. They check it out. They let you know exactly where you stand, and then you get to make a fully informed decision. During that process, you're going to get an idea of what it's like to work with Go Roof as well. You're going to love the guys. They're great. Most importantly, they're professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. They offer a 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty, right? So peace of mind before, during, and after. A beautiful new roof every single time. Roofstop. GoRoofs.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The thing that's on most 2021 resolution lists is traveling. And we at Richards Honda want to help make that happen. Whether you want something big with plenty of interior space or something small and eco-friendly, Richards Honda has them, and everything in between, in stock, complete with our transparent car buying process. No wonder people call Richards Honda the smart choice. I-12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Yo, join us for a Thursday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney, presented by Richards Honda from noon to 3. LSU has 2 new offensive coaches. Could they have a new defensive coordinator on Thursday? Join us for that and much more on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back. Off the Bench. Okay, so a little schedule changes. Booger's being very difficult today for the third time this week. He has changed his time. Went from 7:30, 7:40. He is now at 8:30. Trying to get Chef back on at 7:30. We'll see. But either way, we need some Munchies questions for our executive chef over there at LSU, Michael Johnson. So get your Munchies questions in the YouTube chat, and we will answer all of them. It's always a lot of fun with Chef. What else is a lot of fun is talking about new hires, right? Now, at the onset, I would preface it with this, is that hiring, like drafting talent, like anything else, right, where you're trying to evaluate talent and whether it'll work or not, it's a crapshoot. You try to manage the variables and the odds to put yourself in the best position, but ultimately you never quite know how it's going to work out until it happens. Because of that, when discussing this, I might sound a little overly optimistic. Some would say I might sound naive, especially if you consider LSU's hiring record, which is spotty at best. It's about some will tell you it's under 50-50. A more generous interpretation could say it's about at 50-50, but the point is, it has not been any kind of a 100% success rate. That said, every new hire, since it could go either way, is kind of like Schrodinger's hire, right? You don't know if the coach is good or bad. Is the cat alive or dead? I'm going to choose to be optimistic. I'm going to choose to believe that the cat is alive. But now I think there's some reasons for doing so, right? I don't think I'm completely going out on a limb, but let's just be upfront. I also thought there were reasons to be very optimistic about the Linehan hire. And it was mainly the fact that it was a resume hire. This was a guy with oodles of experience that was coming to be your passing game coordinator, right? How could that go wrong? Well, it did. Because although he had all that experience, it didn't look like he was really too knowledgeable in terms of modern offensive theory, right? In terms of innovation. And that's where this hire is maybe the complete opposite of the Linehan hire, which from a hiring parameter standpoint, I like, because that means that you looked at what you did last time. You said we did this, we went too old, we went too safe, we went too resume based, and it ended up biting us in the ass. We're going to engage in a little more risk. We're going to engage in a little more trust this time. We're going to engage with a little more youth, and we'll see if it works out. And what it means now is that the fate of LSU, and I don't think this is any exaggeration, the fate of LSU is tied to these two young cats, Jake Peets and DJ Mangus, who are now joining the staff. Orgeron has to get these hires right. When you look where LSU sits right now, you're at a crossroads. You managed to stabilize what looked like a program that was completely imploding just a month and a half ago. You pull back to 500. You avoid the losing season. You put together a great recruiting class. You make the tough coaching decisions that need to be made. Like I said, you have stabilized. And the opportunity to get back to being relevant, to being championship relevant, immediately the opportunity is right there, but these hires have to work out, right? These offensive guys in Peetz and Mangus, think about what they're inheriting. They're going to inherit a very experienced offensive line. We still don't know the extent of which, because we'll see what the tackles end up deciding. But an offensive line that could have, maybe like 50, maybe like 60, 70 starts to their name. It maybe even more when we actually get into the numbers. You're going to inherit a quarterback room that, as we discussed yesterday, is as good as I have ever seen at LSU. Not to say that there haven't been better quarterback pairings at LSU, but you got 4 guys right now. And I don't know when it's the last time that you said that you felt comfortable with 4 guys. You got a cat in Kayshon Boutte who just set an SEC record. And really, just look at Kayshon Boutte's games after Terrace Marshall left. If that doesn't get you excited about his potential, nothing will. And that's not even getting into TDP, John Emery. The point is, you have the talent, right? And so these coaches have to do what Linehan and company failed to do last year, and that was to maximize that talent. And let's be clear, the offensive bar is high. The offense was not bad last year. It only felt bad in comparison to 2019. It felt bad because it felt stagnant. It felt like the innovation of 2019 was left behind. And so that's what these hires were all about. It was about getting back to that innovation, getting back to Joe Brady's tree. And that's where this is so interesting, is that Peetz and Mangus, right? Talk about Linehan being a resume hire. Peetz and Mangus are not. In fact, we'll talk about Marcus Freeman a little bit. He would be both. He is both exciting young and a resume hire. Like, Freeman looks like the candidate that you feel like is can't miss. That's not the case with Peetz and Mangus. This is about putting your trust in Joe Brady. Only time will tell whether that's the right play or not. I don't hate the logic, though. And I think there's a lot of reasons why it could work. First off, I do like, although Peetz does not have a coordinator resume, I do like his NFL background. He spent basically 10 years in the NFL with a couple analyst stops at Alabama. And within those 10 years, he had a lot of success, or at least he was tied to a lot of individual success that some players had. He was the quarterbacks coach, assistant QB coach, and then QB coach over there in Oakland with Derek Carr. Went to the Pro Bowl 3 years in a row. Peetz was the coach for 2 of them. The most shocking part there, we talked about before the show, is that Derek Carr made 3 Pro Bowls in a row. I know the Pro Bowl is weird, but that's just wild to me. But Peetz had a hand in that. He was, of course, the running backs coach for Christian McCaffrey when he had the incredible season last year, right? I guess 2 seasons ago now, which is kind of crazy. But, set an NFL record for catches by a running back, over 116 catches, over 1,000 yards receiving, 1,000 yards rushing. Peetz was his coach. When Matt Rule took over from Ron Rivera, I think this always speaks to a guy too, right, and how he's thought of. He was one of the few to survive that transition. And not only did he survive it, but he got upgraded. He went from running back coach to quarterback coach, which inarguably, even though they're both position coaches, is a better job. So that shows you that guys like Matt Rule, who I think we would consider to be a very smart football mind, really respected Jake Peetz's mind. And so I think for all of those reasons, plus with him being in the league for a decade, yet still young at 37, he will not only be able to connect better with these younger players, but he will be able to command their respect because he's done it at the highest level. And then in DJ Mangus, you have a guy that is as directly tied. So like Peetz has connective tissue, right, with Joe Brady and their Carolina team together. In Mangus, you have a guy that is as close with Brady as you can be. Teammates, roommates, I believe, back in the day as well. Mangus' resume is not anything that's going to blow you away. He started coaching in 2012 at Hampton, Sydney College, Georgetown. Gave him the second youngest OC in D1 at William & Mary just a few years later. And then he came with Joe Brady to LSU. So he was a part of that 2019 ride. And then he went with Joe Brady to the Carolina Panthers. And lest you think, well, why are you giving this guy? I mean, he's basically a GA for the Panthers. How's he getting the passing game coordinator job? What was Joe Brady when he got that job? He was a GA for the New Orleans Saints. And so they're taking a chance on Mangus. They're taking a chance on Peetz. And again, probably the main reason why I like it. I'm wary about hiring your friends. It is just kind of how coaching works, though. But the main reason why I like it is because when I think about offensive theory, and I think about the evolution that it's gone under the last few years, I want guys who have, like Bain, like somebody like Linehan. He has merely adopted the modern day spread. Coach Ensminger, who is an incredibly talented offensive coach that had success throughout all decades, he too, though, was playing catch up when it came to modern offensive theory, right? It was the greatest thing that Joe Brady did. He came in, provided the theory, and then was able to take advantage of Ensminger's play calling experience to maximize said theory. So they merely adopted the modern spread. And Pete's and Mangus, you have kids who were born into it, molded by it, kids who were raised in these modern theories and have been developing them and in the thick of them for the past decade. And I think that becomes pretty exciting when you think about wanting to not just run what Joe Brady ran, but to continue to build on it, to continue to evolve. You heard Derek Stingley Sr. on here yesterday basically talking about how he thinks that on the defensive side of the ball, that a younger coach would maybe behoove LSU because they're more willing to adapt and it's easier for them to adapt. Well, that would hold true for the offense as well. So again, these are Schrodinger's coaches. This thing could go either way. And so ultimately your brain is going to frame it however you can. Maybe I'm just an overly optimistic person, but I think there are various reasons to like these hires. And there's many, many more reasons, however, to like the guy who's visiting on the defensive side of the ball today. So we will come back, and unless Chef has responded, which I'll have to check my text during the break, we will come back either with Chef or we will come back and we will dive deep into Marcus Freeman and his visit to Baton Rouge and why, as an LSU fan, I don't even know if the Schrodinger analogy applies. He looks like he could be one of those can't-miss home run hires, and we'll discuss it next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Look, man, there is nothing worse than you waking up, getting out of bed, and all of a sudden you've got wet socks, right? What that means is that something has gone horribly awry, and that's where Advana Clean in Baton Rouge comes in. If you got water damage, mold damage, fire damage, you want to call Advana Clean, 225-369-5228. Now, the main reason why I think you want to deal with Advana Clean, at least for me, is something like that. When something goes that wrong, and you're talking about ripping up carpets, floors, all of this stuff, it's so intimidating to me, right? Where do I start? Do I call the insurance company? Do I call this? No. If you call the insurance company, they are going to send you to companies that they get kickbacks from, okay? They are going to take advantage of you. You call Advana Clean, they deal with the insurance company. So it's one call. You call 369-5228. You do nothing else. Advana Clean takes care of the insurance company. They fix your problems. They do it all. So what are you waiting for? Advana Clean in Baton Rouge needs to be your first call.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. There's a newest member of the Heisman fraternity, and the Saints are back on the practice field getting ready for the wild card game against the Bears. Join us, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Jeff Pizzo again asking, where's Jordy? Todd Jones keeps telling people he's suspended. He is not suspended. He's dealing with a lot of athletes still. It's basically contact tracing. But we got good news. Second negative. It's good to go. I don't know, whatever, right? I think he'll be in tomorrow. So we look forward to welcoming Jordy Collada back to Friday to kick off the weekend. I know that a lot of oh, and by the way, Chef, we'll get in touch with Chef, so we're going to reschedule for later in the show. Keep your Munchies questions coming. We are allocating them all. Damn, I had a good segue, though. So we're excited to welcome Jordy Collada back. I think LSU fans are excited to welcome a certain coaching candidate into Baton Rouge today, as it looks like the youth movement on the coaching side of the ball that we talked about just last segment will continue on the defensive side, as Cincinnati defensive coordinator Marcus Freeman is visiting the program today. Remember, on Tuesday when O stopped by, he said his top defensive target was coming in Thursday. It is now Thursday. That target is Marcus Freeman. And it looks like it's going to come down to LSU and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Earlier this week, he interviewed with Notre Dame. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know well enough how to interpret the fact that he got out of there without a job offer. I know that sometimes people think if you interview and don't get offered the job, that means that it may not happen or it didn't go well, and a lot of times it may be true. But then, we've also kind of criticized LSU for falling in love really quickly in the interview process and jumping in at times. So maybe Notre Dame's being a bit more discerning. Maybe they offered him and Freeman wants to see what else is out there. I don't know. But he did interview with the Irish early this week. He does have some connective tissue with Notre Dame as well. Geographically, he is from Ohio, played at Ohio State, coached at Kent State and Purdue, so he's like used to that area maybe as opposed to the South. He had Notre Dame in the top 4 when he was coming out of high school as a recruit, for whatever that is worth. But I will say this, if it does come down to Notre Dame and LSU, and this is no disrespect to the Irish, but the biggest advantage that LSU would have over Notre Dame is that they got them dogs, right? I mean, what other defense are you? Think about this. What other defense right now are you going to walk into and you're going to inherit Derek Stingley Jr. and Eli Ricks as your cornerbacks? And then you combine that with guys like B.J. Ojulari going into year number 2, Jaquelin Roy going into year number 2, a senior-laden defensive line, Ali Gay, who showed excellent growth in multiple facets of the game throughout the year, coming back, Andre Anthony. I mean, this defense could be potentially loaded next year. Again, I know we don't want to continue to beat these dead horses, but when you're researching these things, you're reading again. Did y'all realize LSU finished dead last in passing defense in the entire country last year? In the entire country. And of all 120 teams, whatever it is, nobody gave up more passing yards per game than did the LSU Tigers, and that's with Derek Stingley Jr. and Eli Ricks. Bo Pelini, that is an accomplishment in and of itself. It should be borderline impossible to be that bad with the talent that you had. And so that's why that had to end, and now you're hopefully welcoming in Marcus Freeman, and you got to think that he should be salivating right now. So let's look at the Freeman resume, because as I said, this is a hire where both the resume makes you excited, the youth makes you excited. Like, there's just not a lot to dislike here. He's only 34 years old. He actually played linebacker at Ohio State from 2004 to 2008, which, you know what that means? He lost back-to-back natties, which sucks, including one to LSU. He also lost that one to Florida in 2006. But he's been in the fire as a player, major D1. He can connect with the players on those levels. He's been through it all. He began as a GA in Ohio State in 2010. He was a linebacker coach for 2 years at Kent State, linebacker coach for 3 years at Purdue. At 29 years old, was already so well respected that he became co-defensive coordinator at 29. Again, you look at a guy's trajectory, and anytime you see a guy having that much success that fast, it's the same thing we always talk about with Brady. What does that mean? That means that his peers think that that guy is something special, right? So at 29 years old, he's a co-defensive coordinator at Purdue, and then eventually he gets the job at 30 at Cincinnati. And he takes over a Cincinnati defense that was horrible, giving up 28 points per game, like over 400 yards. And then year one, they struggled, which makes sense, right? You're taking over a bad Cincinnati defense. You got to install a new scheme. You got to get new players. And in year one, they gave up over 30 points. But since that moment, they have been excellent, from 31 points a game to now, over the last 3 years, just 18 points given up per game. And that's in a very offensive-focused AAC. And if you're talking about modern defensive numbers, 18 points a game is good for top 10 in the country. Okay, you may not think so. You may be stuck in your past ways, but that's really damn good. In fact, if you just look at last year, right, we just mentioned Bo Pelini being dead last in the country in pass defense with Derek Stingley and Eli Ricks. Cincinnati was top 15 in the country in total defense, scoring, and rush defense. So the resume is there. What about the anecdotal evidence, right? What do people say about him? And this is maybe the most exciting part, is that when you hear what you hear about Marcus Freeman is that he is known as a great teacher. And this is probably the area where, outside looking in my opinion, that Bo Pelini struggled the most. We know Bo Pelini is a smart defensive mind. You don't get through the interview process like he did or convince people to pay you $2.5 million without being able to sell it in a room on a chalkboard. What he couldn't sell it to, or what he obviously could not communicate it to, were the players, because nobody looked like they knew what they were doing all season long. This idea of being a great teacher, right? Ultimately, as a coach, that is your job, especially on the college level. The NFL level, you want to be complicated? That's fine. Guys either get it mentally, or if they don't, there's another guy who's almost just as good athletically that can get it mentally. He will get that job. You don't have that luxury in college. You have to work with what you have. And you have to make sure that these players understand what you're trying to communicate. You have to teach them. That did not happen last year. It's probably the area where Dave Aranda excelled the most, right? And one of the key differences is now that anytime there's departures, right, you start to hear these stories. And back in the Aranda age, you heard about Dave Aranda, remember they built that walkthrough room, and it was like it's a really cool innovation where it's just a giant screen that you can scheme all sort of things up, and it basically gives the defense or the offense the ability to walk through without having to have a full team out there. It's an invaluable resource. Dave Aranda lived in it so much that Joe Brady used to get mad because the offense couldn't touch it. Bo Pelini never used it. Never used it at all. They kept trying to get him to use it. He refused to use it. Marcus Freeman would use the hell out of that room because he's a good teacher. That's why I get so excited about this. And that, now, look, some may say, wait, but T-Bob, doesn't he run like a 3-3-5? You just went from a 4-3 from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Are you upsetting the apple cart again? He has run a 3-3-5 at Cincinnati, but that is not the defense that has defined him his entire career. Even at Cincinnati, he runs a multiple system with 4-man fronts and 3-man fronts, just like I believe he would do here. But in the past, he has run defenses that operate out of a base 4-3. He's run defenses that operate out of a base 3-4. The point is, he is willing to customize. Again, this is a problem that Pelini did not. He was obstinate, a bit stubborn. He was going to stick you into his system regardless if the fit was good or not. One thing Dave Aranda did was constantly adjust and customize the defense to highlight his player's strength while masking the weaknesses. That's something that Freeman has done throughout his career when you look at how multiple he's been on that side of the ball. So, although, sure, you want to come in here, install a 3-3-5, it's an interesting way to defend the modern spread. Look, I would say I have questions about how it defends the run, but Cincinnati was so good against the run, he's obviously figured it out. The point is, you want to run 3-3-5, sure, run whatever you want. You know way better than we do. I trust you. But maybe he gets in here, he sees the personnel. He sees how Andre Anthony started to excel in that 4-man front. He sees the combination of Ali Gay and B.J. Ojulari off the edge. Maybe he wants to run that 4-2-5. The point is, I trust that whatever the defensive scheme ends up being, whatever the base of the scheme ends up being, I trust that Marcus Freeman, if he gets the job, would customize it to LSU's strength, something that you did not have last year. And then so just the sugar on top of this overly saccharine segment where we are just getting very excited about a guy who may or may not even come here is that he reportedly recruits really well. So, what does this cat do wrong? Nothing. So I talk about him being maybe a can't-miss hire. In fact, if you're talking about maybe the one negative that people have, it's that he has made no bones about it. He wants to be a head coach as soon as possible. And so who knows? If he has enough success, does this end up as a one-year rental? Does he remain a bit more patient, wait for the right job to open up? Who knows? But you know what? I don't care. If your guys are being hired away, that's good. That means you made a good hire. Sure, is it disappointing to have to go out again, get a new guy, kind of restart that process? Absolutely. But that's just life if you want to be a championship program. There's something that championship programs have dealt with for decades, and it's maybe even more so in the LSU situation where you have that more of a CEO delegating type of setup where you have to hire well for this thing to work consistently. And so you actually need guys to be hired away because that means that you are consistently hitting on who you are bringing in. And so today they are bringing in Marcus Freeman. Let's hope. I think if you're an LSU fan, I make no bones about it. I think you should really hope that you can land this cat. If you can, and then you have Peets and Mangus on the offensive side of the ball, all of a sudden, the youthful revolution of the coaching staff is complete. I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn, so maybe somebody in the chat can add this up, or we can add this up a bit later. But I want to say the average age of the coaching staff was around 50-plus last season. I'd be interested to see if Freeman joins what the average age would be now, as he's 34 years old. Peets is 37. I think Mangus is around 30 or 31. So these are some young cats that, again, understand the modern philosophies of football because they came up in it, they've been molded by it, and they can connect with these players maybe a bit better than some of the guys that you had previously could have. So exciting times at LSU. Remember, when things looked so dark just a couple of months ago, what did we say? We said it looks horrible right now, but all is not lost. If you can close out the season okay, which they did, if you could land a big-time recruiting class, which they did, if you could figure out the offensive line, which they are in the process of, and if you could make the tough coaching staff changes and decisions that had to be made, that you would set yourself up to be championship relevant immediately again next year. And LSU has gone through that process step by step, and this is one of the final steps therein. So fingers crossed that Marcus Freeman chooses LSU over Notre Dame and that these interviews go well today. Again, he has to be salivating. I mean, look, Cincinnati, they're a good football team. But when he looks at the guys that he has on this defense, and then he looks at Derek Stingley Jr. and Eli Ricks, how could he not just, his brain has to be spinning with what he could do with those cats. And my brain is spinning with what all those cats could do together. What do you think? We'll get to your comments in the chat. Closing out hour number one next here on 104.5, 100.3, and 94.7 ESPN.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Moose, help me out. CentralPlumbing.org. That's what I'm talking about, Moose. That guy gets it. Moose's broken a toilet or two in his day. And you know what he does? He's called 925-8552. 925-8552. Don't think twice about it, man. Flat rate pricing means you're not going to be hit with any surprise or hidden fees. Licensed, bond insured, trust who's coming to your home. The warranty, 30 days on service work, a year on new installations, give you that peace of mind. But really, look, man, for me, it's just all about ease, right? It's just all about not thinking twice, not lifting a finger. All I know is that no matter the problem, simple, complex, something that seems horrible, something that doesn't seem that bad, all I have to do is pick up that phone or go to centralplumbing.org, and my problems are fixed within the day, and I have not lifted a finger. It's a really good feeling. So doesn't matter when you need him, hit him up, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens. Make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor?
Join us on Thursday night for Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Come see us for happy hours. We recap LSU basketball's game against Georgia and look ahead to the sports weekend. Tune in at 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Wrapped up in my courts. Welcome back. OTB, T-Bob, Musso, Danny hanging out with you. I want to get to some of y'all chat since I was just pontificating up here about coaching. Danny Snow, we're stacked. So Chris Durrell, we'll start here. LSU don't have one good safety, so a 4.25 is not their best. Jesse McCormick says, I'm holding my opinion on Hampton. I still think he can be a player. I want to explore that for a second real quick, right? This idea that LSU doesn't have one good safety. I would say be careful judging too many of these players based on what you saw, especially in the secondary this last season. Who looked better from 2 years ago to this last season on defense? Jacoby Stevens looked incredibly worse. Mo Hampton, who played well as a true freshman, looked completely lost, like he had fallen off of a cliff. Cardell Flott, who played well as a true freshman, really struggled. I mean, you go down the list, every single guy looked like they got worse in the secondary. Now, let's just be logical about this. Did all of those players who have put better football out there on tape under Dave Aranda, did they all actually get worse? Does that make sense? Or were they maybe not put in the best positions to succeed, right? I mean, I'll go back to one of your old elementary math rules. What's the common denominator? The common denominator, as McCormick what's the word I'm looking for? Eloquently puts it. The common denominator there is Poolini. So I would just say be careful in judging those guys. I'm not going to say Mo Hampton's going to be a dog or anything like that. But, like, not only do you have really good freshmen in Sage Ryan and Days coming in, but then I still think the guys you already have are better than what they appeared like this last season. Where else was it? The chat moves too fast sometimes to get to. But look, I think that if you look at the modern, somebody else was talking about how basically nowadays you have to have 5 DBs on the field at all times. I definitely agree with that. I mean, you see that in the NFL. You see that in college. Nickel is essentially becoming the base defense. And so, yes, where is LSU really strong? They're really strong on the defensive line. I still believe they are very, very strong in that secondary. Again, I think the common denominator that made them the worst pass defense in the country was the coaching change. I think you are a bit weak at linebacker, right? That was an obvious weakness this year. You still don't feel good about what you have in Damone Clark, though I want to allow room for growth there, certainly. Baskerville was impressive, but I mean, what's his ceiling? Will he be a dominant player? He definitely made a really good difference for this defense this last season, but I don't know if it's like somebody that you're going to be particularly excited about. So a 4.25 all of a sudden really seems to fit, right? Especially when you listen to what Coach O has talked about he wants philosophically, which is that 4-man front, which can be a bit more disruptive, which if there was any positive part of the and so maybe it was Danny Snow, there you go, in the chat, that was talking about kind of how LSU's personnel is made up and how it would fit that 4.25. And if there was one positive part about the Poolini defense, it was that the defensive line, it was pretty disruptive. It's exciting, man. And look, let's be clear. And then, yeah, like guys like Andre. And so Jesse McCormick saying in last year's defense, Andre Anthony looks better. Yes, the D-line looked better. They were more impactful, as they should be in a 4-3. And so that's why I kind of agree with continue down that road, especially since you lost your kind of three-man front stalwarts in both Apu Ika and Tyler Shelvin. But again, Marcus Freeman is not married to that 3-3-5. He started doing that when he went to Cincinnati to combat the spreads of the AAC. So fingers crossed that LSU can land this cat, because I think that he could take full advantage. And look, man, let's make no mistake, LSU's future rides with these new hires. You can get last year, right? You stabilized, you managed to do it. But if you're that bad again next year or something close to it, it's going to be a tough pill for LSU fans to swallow. And already you could see everything kind of crumbling around just a couple of years removed from a natty, which sounds crazy, but those are just the margins, right? That's just the reality of the situation when you get paid millions of dollars and you coach major college football. So exciting times for LSU football. Coming up next hour here on Off the Bench, we're going to kick it off with Ben Mintz. He's going to give you his Mintz six-pack playoff edition, 6 more money-making picks from you. Check in how life is up there in New York City at Barstool Sports. Ole Miss on their own bit of a heater. We're going to talk some basketballs. The Pelicans fall last night. LSU basketball gets the big win. We still got Booger McFarland coming up to talk NFL. Hopefully we'll get in touch with Chef sometime this morning. And we got Andrew Lopez in the final hour. So keep it locked right here. Like and share with all of your friends. And we'll be back with more Off the Bench next hour here on 104.5, 100.3, and 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Go to Ochsner.org today if you want to maximize your health, man. And look, it doesn't have to be injury related, though if it is. Ochsner is where you want to go. They have the latest and most cutting-edge non-surgical techniques that they can explore to potentially stop you from having to go under the knife. But if you do have to have surgery, you want to go to Ochsner. The facilities will blow you away. Whether you're in the Grove here in Baton Rouge or on the North Shore, you're in New Orleans, the facilities are top-notch. It's what the professionals use, right? As are the doctors. And so for the actual operation itself, you're going to have everything top-notch. Even like the halls are painted with antimicrobial paint. They'll protect against infection. I mean, no stone left unturned. The physical therapy areas will blow you away, both in terms of personnel and the experience that they have and in terms of facilities. So you want to get healthy, you want to get feeling right, Ochsner is the answer. Go to Ochsner.org, Ochsner.org.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens. Make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Thursday, January the 7th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see cloudy skies with a high of 53. If you missed hour one of the show, you can catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Here in hour two, Barstool Sports' Ben Mintz gives us his six-pack of winners. Next, LSU Executive Athletic Chef Michael Johnson at 8:15 to answer your Munchies questions. Booger McFarland stops by at 8:30, and ESPN's Andrew Lopez talks Pels at 9:30. Follow today's show on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. You can watch it live at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel and interact inside the Bayou 4 chat. And make sure you get subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 2 of OTB starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Yo, what's going on, yo? Welcome in Off the Bench. T-Bob, Musso, Danny with you. Okay, so Chef is in for 8:15. So we're going to have a little bit of a threesome here, maybe a foursome, I don't know. Point is, we're going to have Mintzy into Chef, into Booger McFarland in this hour. So get ready for a lot of me like raising one eyebrow at the camera as I try to look like I'm listening intently to our guests. And let's start with our first guest of the hour, and that is my guy, Ben Mintz. Barstool Mincy, up there in the Big Apple, NYC. Part of my take just gave away the Lowman Award. Congratulations to the winner, who I forgot who it is, but it's an award for the best fullback. Mincy, what's up, bro? What's going on?
Oh, man, doing good this morning in New York. Starting to get a little cold up here, but, yeah, just everything's good, man. Still getting used to getting the Barstool Sports introduction, but it's something I'm enjoying getting used to.
Yeah, man. It was great seeing you over Christmas break. Glad you're back in NYC. Before we get into your picks, man, how do you feel? Now the Lane train has officially pulled in year number 1. You know that you're unloading the bags. How do you feel about Lane train year 1?
I mean, I did a video the other day on the internet that said, the most exciting 5-5 team in college football history. Because I mean, obviously, it was so much fun, and when you look at where Ole Miss was 1 year ago, where they were completely irrelevant, really nationally, before Lane Kiffin got hired, and how much fun I look at all the memories of this year with Kentucky and how wild the LSU game was, the rain, and winning the Egg Bowl, and dude, it's awesome. It's amazing. All I ever want is an Ole Miss fan, T-Bob, is to be entertained, and we found the man for that job.
Are you not entertained? Yeah, and remember, man, not all 5-5 records are created equal. That's an all SEC 5-5. Who could? Well, I guess with the bowl win, but still, who could have really fathomed that just a little while ago for Ole Miss? So, congrats to you, Mincy. Good times up there in Oxford. And in New York City. I'm loving you getting to mess with Brandon Walker. All right, though, Mincy, let's dive in, man. So are you, this is going to be all NFL, all wild card weekend here for this Mintz Sixer? That's a bit of a narrow operating space. How are you feeling about it?
I would say take it with a great. It's a little tough when you don't have the full board, and I remember I got lit up on the playoffs last year, so I would say I feel decently good about it, but I wouldn't go start taking mortgages out of the pick.
Okay, well here is your somewhat confident Mintz Sixer. What you got for us, Mincy?
We'll start with the Colts and Buffalo. Buffalo's a 6.5-point favorite at home. Man, I thought Buffalo's been so dominant lately. I mean, you're talking about a team scoring in the 50s now. And Josh Allen, you've talked about it all year, T-Bob. The evolution of him, it's mind-blowing because he just rips off these 30 and 40-yard throws like they're 5 or 10 yards and makes you defend every blade of grass and all that. I'm taking the Bills. They're too hot. They are a little bit of a public side here, but I don't trust Phillip Rivers in cold weather. If the Colts are going to have a chance in this game, they're going to have to really try to run the ball, shorten the game, and keep Josh Allen on the sidelines. But I'm not going against the Bills wagon right now. They're on fire.
Yeah, so we'll see if we end up getting to it today, but I do have a whole Josh Allen segment kind of written out where this article blew my mind yesterday. Josh Allen, his first 2 years in the league was dead last in completion percentage, and then he finished fourth at 69% this year. That 69 number is a number that Tom Brady and Peyton Manning never even hit for their entire career. And he went from being dead last 2 years in a row to that. So, no, I mean, his transformation is absurd. It actually has a lot to do with Carson Palmer's little brother, too, Jordan Palmer. But whatever, we'll get to that later in the show. Pick number 2, Mincy.
Pick number 2, boys. So this is the one we're watching close as a Saints fan because, the way the NFL playoffs work, they reseed the teams. And so we're going to be watching this Rams-Seattle game close, kind of cheering for Seattle, to be honest, because I kind of like the path of Saints, hopefully be Bears and Seattle both at home the first 2 weeks. Seattle's a 3-point favorite at home over the Rams. Jared Goff, I think, he's going to go, but he's got the wrist injury he's dealing with. Look, I think Seattle wins this game by 3, but I'm taking Seattle by 3 just at home. I don't love it, but I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Seattle does pull it out.
Yeah, McVay saying he is not going to comment on quarterbacks throughout the week. But, yeah, even if Goff does go, who knows what form he's in. And, I mean, look, Russell Wilson in the playoffs. I like Russell Wilson in the playoffs, even though I'm a bit scared of Aaron Donald. Pick number 3, Mincy, what you got?
We got a little Saturday night football. The Washington football team hosted Tom Brady and the Bucs, and I kind of said this on OTB beginning of the year, and I stand by this analysis. Tampa Bay was never a team that was going to win 12 or 13 games with all the new parts, but they're a team I was worried about getting real hot in January, and I know people are jumping the gun on that. They killed Detroit and Atlanta the last couple of weeks, 2 teams that are mailing it in, but I still like them this week because I don't. The football team they average like 20 points a game. I just don't know that they can score enough against Brady. And Chase Young in that pass rush is going to have to light them up. I think Tampa Bay is going to take care of them here. They're favored by – I don't love laying over a touchdown on the road. I think Tampa Bay wins like 27-13, something like that in this game.
We'll see what Chase Young has to say about it, man. I love it, dude. In Brady, you have like the old grizzled warrior, right? The old alpha. And then in Chase Young, you just have this young wolf, this like physical freak that the alpha, he's going to have to contend with. However, Chase Young says he wants Tom. Let's see if he really does want Tom. We'll figure out this weekend. Minty, to your point, you have consistently all year said that this will be the time when the Bucs come on. I hope that you're wrong. I would love nothing more than for the Bucs and Brady to lose to the Washington football team. Pick number 4, Minty. Who you got?
All right, we're going to the Sunday matchup, and boy, okay, this one I've been conflicted on this one, but you know where I'm headed. The AFC South champions, Tennessee Titans, hosting the Baltimore Ravens. It's a 3.5-point home underdog. Baltimore's red hot coming in though. They've won 6 in a row. They've really turned it on down the stretch. So I'm a little worried about it, but I'm still going to take Tennessee plus 3.5 as a home dog, and I'll tell you why. The Titans' kryptonite. Drop back pocket passers torch this team. The secondary's horrible. Pass rush has been weak. But Lamar Jackson's not a drop back passer. That's the exact thing. He's the opposite. Tennessee won that playoff game in Baltimore last year, and they won in overtime earlier this year in Baltimore. And I just getting 3.5 at home. I feel like Vegas loves the Ravens, making this line over a field goal on the road, but I'm going to be the sucker and take Tennessee and maybe a little bit of a homer pick. Tennessee still. I've been riding them since the Tannehill thing last year, and it's been profitable, so I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, The Athletic, we talked about it yesterday. They ran over 200,000 simulations for these playoffs, and the Saints are the biggest favorite by far, given an 82% chance to win. And this was the closest game by far. I think the Ravens had like a 52% chance. So, yeah, this one could go either way. I don't know, but I feel like I don't know. I mean, it's Vrabel versus Harbaugh, but Vrabel is just so impressive in the playoffs last year. I feel like that's potentially an advantage there. Pick number 5. Mincy, who you got?
Pick number 5, the Black and Gold hosting the Bears. Actually, I went on Redline Radio, Barstool Chicago, which was pretty cool to talk about this game. Yesterday, man, that's just tough to lay 10 in a playoff game. I do think the Saints will win. But these playoff games under Peyton the last few years have been a lot of 2017, 23-17 type deals. I feel like the Saints pull it out, but I'm not necessarily confident laying the 10. But, I mean, I'm not – I think the Saints win and don't cover. I hate to publicly go against the Saints, but I would take the 10, I think.
Yeah, look, man, you got to be true to yourself. Be true to your pick. So Bears plus 10. I mean, look, it is kind of weird, right? Last game went to overtime. Now, granted, it was in Chicago, and as we talked about yesterday, it was not necessarily a full strength. It wasn't a full strength Saints team like you maybe hope they will be this Sunday. My deal is the offensive line just has to show up because Chicago's D-line has not actually been good, but they did do very good in that first matchup, which is how I think that game ended up being so close. The offensive line struggling out of nowhere is how you lost to the Vikings last year. They got to step up this weekend, and maybe they'll cover the 10. Who knows? Pick number 6, Mincy. Who you got?
Pick number 6, final game. Boy, I hate this for Cleveland. I mean, of course, the Browns didn't make the playoffs forever, and then this happened. And the job, we got to give a shout-out to Kevin Stefanski. What a head coaching job he did this year. Really, man, this team really turned the corner, but Olivier Vernon tears his Achilles, and they're going to be without Stefanski and all this COVID stuff. I mean, I hate to do this because I'm cheering for Cleveland, but I like Pittsburgh by 6.
What is that number? You just faded out at the end there.
Pittsburgh by 6.
All right, so our Mintz 6-pack is in. Mincy, let me know if I got this right. First pick, Colts at Buffalo. You like the Bills minus 6.5. Second pick, Rams at Seahawks. You like the Hawks at home minus 3. Next, Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to D.C. to take on the Washington football team. You like Tampa on the road minus 8. Fourth pick of the day, the Tennessee Titans playing host to the Baltimore Ravens as home dogs. You like Vrabel and the Titans plus 3.5. You like the Bears plus 10 on the road in the Superdome. It's a big number in that game. And then finally, to close it out, Browns at Steelers. You like Mike Tomlin and company minus 6.
That is correct, man. And looking forward to the playoffs. Really hope, like I said, Saints beat the Bears, and then hopefully Seattle wins. We finally get Seattle to come to NOLA and let Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers duke it out at Lambeau and catch the winner. I think it's a good draw.
It is actually a really good draw. What is Big Cat saying about this Bears Saints matchup? Have you got to talk to him?
A little bit. We're going to do it. Looks like we're doing a live stream for it in the office, which will be a heck of a lot of fun. Because my first day at Barstool was that All Saints Day game when the Saints won in overtime, but I played when the Saints go marching in, and everybody laughed their ass off. and so I'm looking forward to part 2 of that. He hadn't really talked too much snack. I mean, I think all these Bear fans are just happy they're in the playoffs. It doesn't seem like there's not a lot of smack talk coming from that side from what I've noticed this week.
I mean, should they be happy? Because doesn't this just mean that the Matt Nagy era continues?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, their defense is pretty good. Trubisky played a lot better down the stretch. The big thing for them was David Montgomery got going, and they finally got a semblance for running game. But the Saints' run D's been good, so I feel pretty good about that matchup.
There you go. Barstool Mincy. Catch him on Barstool Sports after dinner Mintz every single night on social media. Him and Playboy Marty holding it down up in the Big Apple. Stay warm, Ben.
Yeah, we'll try. Y'all take it easy. Happy New Year. And I can't say enough. Had so much fun coming back to Baton Rouge. Appreciate the great treatment.
Oh, it was awesome, dude. Thanks for everything, man. Coming and sitting in the post game and everything. It was a lot of fun. All right, when we get back, last chance to get your Munchies questions in. We still have the ones from earlier in the document. We're going to talk to LSU Executive Chef Michael Johnson as we answer all of your Munchies questions here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, and 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Listen, it is cold outside, and then it gets warm, then it gets cold. The point is you're heating and cooling systems, your HVAC systems, they're a bit all over the place right now. If you feel like you're working them extra, or maybe you just haven't gotten them serviced in a while, you need to get them checked out, you, my friends, want to get in touch with Accutemp for any of your AC heating or electrical needs. Here's the deal with you, Tim. Obviously, everybody's licensed, bond, insured, right? So you know the quality of the work is going to be fantastic. But where this company really separates, it's in their core philosophies. And all of those philosophies, they all revolve around you, the customer, and maximizing your experience, right? These are things that have to be done to your home regardless of what you want or think or hope, right? So instead of making an expense, how about you make it a positive experience, and you'll never want to go anywhere else. Trust me, Accutemp is your answer. 926-2243. Go to AccutempBR.com today.
Off the Bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens. Make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Yo, join us for a Thursday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney, presented by Richards Honda from noon to 3. LSU has 2 new offensive coaches. Could they have a new defensive coordinator on Thursday? Join us for that and much more on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Chef Michael Johnson is back on OTB, brought to you by Barbecue Guys. Barbecue Guys is your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Send your questions into the Bayou Ford YouTube chat using the hashtag Munchies.
I would like to take this opportunity to wish Nick Cage a very happy birthday. Apparently, it is Nick Cage's birthday today. I just saw a meme where somebody had photoshopped Nick Cage stealing the Declaration of Independence into the madness of yesterday's scenes. Wouldn't it be a fascinating thing if, like, in 2,000 years, the only thing that survived their society were yesterday's videos? You had to try to extrapolate what was lying back now. It's wild. But something that's not as wild, although I'm sure this man has many wild memories in his past, is executive chef Michael Johnson. Stops by every single week to answer all of your Munchies questions. Chef, what's going on, man?
How are you, buddy? I'm good.
I'm doing great, man. My gumbo has ascended to the next level. My mother officially told me that it is better than hers. She is passing me the torch. I have now executed to perfection 2 gumbos in a row. I'm very excited about it. And I think that one of the main reasons why is because of the homemade stocks, and so this is a great place to start. Hashtag Munchies. Do different chickens produce a different flavored stock?
I think wild, like more wild chickens that are allowed to open roam, versus farm chickens that are in a controlled environment. And then like these different species, I think maybe a little bit, but not in a large way, no.
Hashtag Munchies. Gizzards or livers?
Gizzards all day, man. I love a freaking fried, dirty gizzard.
How though? I mean, that texture, it's so chewy. The one time I had gizzards, I was not into it.
It's a childhood thing. My old man used to take me and get gizzards when I was a kid, and it was just kind of a special thing. So
that's blue collar. Hashtag Munchies. What's your secret to scrambled eggs?
I pull the eggs before they overcook because you've heard green eggs and ham. Well, the thing is that you want to stop cooking the eggs while they're still wet looking, and I don't know. That's my general rule of thumb is to pull them while they're still wet looking.
So don't dry out your eggs, people. There's nothing worse than a crumbly, dry egg.
Watery egg.
Hashtag Munchies. What is chef's favorite way to cook or smoke a salmon fillet?
I like cedar plank on salmon, but I also like to barbecue it with a little blueberry glaze on top of it and let that glaze tacky up with the smoke and it pulls it in. Yeah.
Wow, blueberry glaze sounds delicious. Hashtag Munchies. Favorite Mexican dish to cook?
I kind of like simple stuff with like street tacos, but then like cochinitas that takes like 2 days to cook. I can get into that as well. I think it's either one or the other.
Well, now you've piqued my interest. What was the latter? Cochinistas? What is that?
Cochinitas. It's like one of the oldest Mexican dishes that there is out there. That some people call it pibil or puerco pibil, but it's like pulled pork and achiote and orange juice and jalapenos, and it's cooked for like 18 hours. It's just slow simmered.
Danny's giving me a look like it's delicious right now. It sounds like we know what we need to try next here on OTB. Hashtag Munchies. Best bread for a fried shrimp po' boy.
Are you talking about bread from Louisiana? Because it's got to be like Gambino's or somebody like that. I'm not sure if you're asking me for the brand or the name or if.
Yeah, no. Either. Look, you take it. Whatever. I'm just reading the questions here. I am but a vehicle for you to work your artistry within.
Yeah. I'm afraid to call out somebody's name, but I like Gambino's bread.
Yeah. No. Look. Don't worry about that. We got that, man. You do. I want you to be honest here. Hashtag Munchies. Best cold weather dish / bowl not named gumbo.
Well, again, this goes back to my old man, and he used to cook chili a lot in the wintertime, and it kind of settles with me pretty warm. And my mom one of the things that she used to do pretty well was make a potato soup, and I think the soups in general in the wintertime when it's cold go real well. It kind of warm you up, but when it comes from one of your parents, it feels even better, I think.
Well, okay, this is a later question in the list. Hashtag Munchies. Chef's favorite type of chili to cook / eat.
I like black beans in my chili, and I know that's kind of against a lot of people's law, and I'll actually grind some gizzards up and put it in my chili too. I like the texture of the gizzards in there.
Yeah, lying, dude. You really do love gizzards. Do you ever watch Hell's Kitchen And what are your thoughts on Gordon Ramsay yelling at his kitchen staff? Have you done the same?
I've watched it enough to know that it's a TV show, but I don't believe that. I don't think, no chef out there is going to flourish these days yelling at their employees. That certainly isn't the environment that we're harvesting over at LSU. And I'd hate, I've worked in one of those a long time ago, but not anymore. Yeah.
Hashtag Munchies. So we talked about gas station hot dogs yesterday. Hashtag Munchies. Yeah. Does the chef eat gas station food? And if so, what's his go-to?
Boudin, anything like that. And strangely enough, I don't want to beat the dead horse, but we used to go to the gas station for gizzards as well. But, around here, it's definitely Boudin. Yeah.
Hashtag Munchies. Does chef have an off season?
We just had 2 weeks down, and that was the first time that we've had 2 weeks down in a year and a half, or almost 2 years. So, negative.
Hey, but hell yeah, man! I hope you enjoyed it. I just had 2 weeks off too for the first time ever, and it was kind of incredible. Hashtag Munchies. How does Chef feel about Guy Fieri?
I don't feel one thing or the other. He's got some pretty hair.
Hey,
I like his job. He gets to travel around and go to all those cool places, but.
I will always respect Guy Fieri because, look, in this world, we can all only be true to ourselves. And that man woke up and was like, I'm going to rock a goatee, frosted tips, and I'm literally going to wear my sunglasses backwards on my neck with a flaming button-up, like a button-up with black flames on. And it works, and people love it. Shout out to you, Guy Fieri. Yeah. Hashtag Munchies, best seasoning for Philly cheesesteak.
Seasoning for Philly, I don't know. It has to do with the sauce for me, and you got to use like real cheese with. Some people use it out of the can. But seasoning to me, I use stew the meat. It's kind of just beef broth when they do it. But to me, it's about the cheese.
Hashtag Munchies. Is there a 5-second rule in your kitchen?
No 5-second rule.
Hashtag Munchies. What would be some of your food commandments if you were a food god?
Oh, man. One is the chef is always right.
Chill out, Gordon.
Yeah, like burgers always have to have a pickle.
Okay.
Cinnamon should be used subtly, not overwhelmingly.
Okay.
Yeah. Chicken will float when it's done frying.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
There you go. 3 commandments from the food god himself. Hashtag Munchies. How do you handle the dog staring at you in the kitchen?
Oh, he does too. It's just creepy as hell, man. But I get along with it. I usually have a bourbon in my hand when we're cooking in the kitchen, so I deal with it.
I create that problem as well because I always end up giving him food. I just can't help it. I'm making all this steak.
Yeah,
come on, just give the guy a little bit. He had some spaghetti last night. Hashtag Munchies. Hashtag Munchies. How much, and you can take this whichever direction, how much chemistry is involved in your cooking?
Oh, man. I mean, it's spiritual, brother, and it's not just about me. It's about the food and where it comes from and where it's going to. And, I'm concerned about whether it's going to be enough for them and whether I'm putting enough into it. And nowadays, I worry more about passing it on to the people that I work with so that they have it as well,
Hashtag Munchies. So king cake season started yesterday, Chef. Have you ever made a king cake? And if so, how?
No. And you know why? Because there's so many people that make them so fantastic down here that I would just make a fool of myself doing so. And no, it's not everything. I just go buy them and enjoy them.
All right, so we'll do our final one today. Hashtag Munchies. It's kind of a 2-part, or it's got multiple parts. Best mayo to put in homemade mashed potatoes. How much? Okay. And then do you put mayo in your homemade mashed potatoes?
Well, I'll just start by saying this: is if we're saying the best to put into the homemade mash, I would say make an aioli, and then do it from scratch and do it right. Huh. And from there, I would. Yeah, I have. I don't all the time.
Wait, so how do you make? How does one go about making an aioli?
It's olive oil, lemon juice, and an egg yolk, and you whip it together, and that's how you make aioli. It's basically the same thing as mayonnaise, really.
Wow.
Without the stabilizers. Yeah.
I never knew that. You've now given me something to try, Chef, as you
It
do
just
every
sounds
single
pretty.
week. Yeah, it sounds very pretty. It sounds very fancy. Well, Chef, thank you so much, man. I know I bounced you all around this morning.
Not at all,
You're
man.
more than accommodating. Chef Michael Johnson, executive chef for LSU. Go get them boys right, Chef. Hope you enjoyed the break. And I hope you're looking forward to 2 more years of working nonstop with no vacation. Take it easy. I think he hung up. All right, when we get back here, I was like, I'm going to end on a zinger here, and then met with silence. Bad feeling. When we get back, speaking of bad feelings, let's talk to Booger McFarland so he can tell us how Tampa Bay is really good again. Here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Colada and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Why? Because you gotta. Well, I guess you don't really have to, but maybe you should because they have incredible deals. You want a new 2021 Tundra? How does 0% APR financing for 60 months sound? You want a new 2020 Camry like I got, maybe the Toyota Sienna, a little minivan. You want a used vehicle, something a bit more affordable, right? But a Toyota certified used vehicle, you'll still get things like a warranty for things that you only get with new cars. The point is, whether you're looking to rent, whether you're looking to buy, whether you're looking to lease, whether you want new, whether you want used, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge has all of it. That's why I've gone there twice, not just because they're sponsors of the show. I didn't get any sort of special deals. I went there because they directly matched what my family's needs were. Help them find the answer to your needs. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Service Master Elite create clean.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. There's a newest member of the Heisman fraternity, and the Saints are back on the practice field getting ready for the wild card game against the Bears. Join us, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Do we see the confetti fall? Be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
A lot of great king cake debate going on in the chat right now about where the best king cake may be. Musso proposing a potential tier list where we rank king cake fillings. An idea that Daniel Basham actually arrived at the same time randomly in the chat. Daniel Basham also goes on to say mayo king cake is the best. I think he's just joking, but that is funny to me. That'd be hilarious if you bit into king cake. It's got a fat splash of mayonnaise, like some sort of aioli gusher or something. Booger McFarland at ESPN Booger on Twitter. You know him. Maybe you love him. I don't know. You know, right? Welcome in, Boog. What's up, dude?
What's going on, T-Bob? How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. King cake season started yesterday, Boog. What's your favorite king cake? Like, do you like filling? No filling? Do you have a? Do you go to Randazzo? Do you have a place that you like? Where's the best king cake?
Well, I'm a no-filling guy. I'm more of a simpleton. I know you haven't noticed that about me over the years, but I like to keep it simple. Just give me a nice little flavor.
Yeah.
No icing. Just kind of plain Jane, man.
Do you ever dip that king cake in milk?
No, that would be a fat guy move, but I'm sure you do. I don't do
good.
that.
It's very good. I dip every
Correct.
sweet in milk. It just makes it better. Okay, Boog, I got a lot to get with you today on, so let's just dive right in. Okay, playoffs start this weekend. Let's start here. Which teams have the greatest chances of stopping a Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl? If we were to just play the favorites here.
So on the NFC side, I would go Bucks, Saints.
Okay.
Seahawks as an outsider, but I think Bucks, Saints, because of how they're built, their defenses have the capability of playing at a high level. They have a quarterback that's not going to be afraid of 10 to 15 degree weather, which it could be if you go to Green Bay. On the other side, man, I mean, Buffalo, Tennessee, Baltimore, because of just how they pressure you. I think those would be the three. I'm not a believer in Pittsburgh. Like, Pittsburgh is really, you know, there's an old saying that if somebody shows you who they are, you better believe them. And Pittsburgh has shown us throughout the season that they are a team that's going to throw the football 50 times a game and let the chips fall where they may. They can't run the football, and that's got to drive you crazy as an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I am fully in on the Buffalo hype train. They are my AFC team du jour. Boog, you mentioned the New Orleans Saints maybe being the biggest threat to the Packers on the NFC side of the equation. The Saints this weekend have players returning for multiple reasons, right? You get Deontay Harris, Mike Thomas off the injured list. Kamara's going to be off the COVID list hopefully by Sunday. I want to talk about Thomas, though. It seems like this IR break was to get him healthy. How do you, give me some perspective from as an NFL player. Can he hit the ground running? Like, can Mike Thomas come back and be Mike Thomas on Sunday if he's healthy?
100%, because Mike Thomas is a veteran receiver. There's not a coverage he hasn't seen. There's not a DB he hasn't gone against. And as long as him and Drew Brees are in rhythm and timing, which I have no doubt they'll be because of their history, then he can come out and give you a 10-catch, 170-yard performance without a doubt. And, you know, the whole key is going to be, can he be healthy?
Yeah.
Like, if you look at him, like, how many games has he played this year? Like 4 or 5?
3 or 4 or 5. We'll double check, Danny. Could you look that up real quick? But yeah, to your point, it's a handful. He got injured at the end of that first game against Tampa when maybe he didn't need to be in, and then the rest of the year has been just an uphill battle.
Yeah, like, he needs to be on the field. So hopefully he's healthy, because here's the thing I want. like the situation in Cleveland is really bothering me because Cleveland's not going to be at full strength. You got Joe Bitonio, one of their best offensive linemen, is not going to be available. The head coach and play caller is not going to be available. I don't care who wins the game. I just want these teams at full strength.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the college football playoff. Like, if Ohio State can't be full strength, then let's go. The last thing I want is for Alabama, or even if the shoes were reversed, Ohio State to win this game, and we all sit back, yeah, but what if they had X, Y, Z? So it doesn't matter to me who wins these games. I want the teams playing at their capability, full strength, and let the chips fall where they may.
I would actually love for Alabama to win against a weakened Ohio State team just so you could constantly weasel into Alabama fans' heads by being like, well, I don't know. Can we really count it? Y'all got lucky. They get triggered very easily, Boog. Okay, here's where I want to go next. You mentioned the Tampa Bay Buccaneers earlier this segment. Interesting matchup against the Washington football team. They're big favorites. Chase Young, after the win last week, walking on the field saying, I want Tom Brady. Your thoughts on Chase Young calling out Tom Brady? Bad idea?
It really doesn't matter. It's not really a good or bad idea. I mean, this kid's 21 years old. Tom Brady's been in the league 21 years. He grew up.
Point.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, he grew up watching Tom Brady, and he came into this league saying he wants to sack every quarterback. And if you're the best, and I'm sure he thinks he's one of the best, you want to go against the best. So he wants to go against Tom Brady, and I got no problem with it. And everyone, we live in a society where, oh, man, you can't say this. Understand this. What would you rather him say? Man, I am so afraid of going against Tom Brady. Of course, competitors want to compete. And the fact that he's going against Donovan Smith, the Bucs left tackle, or Tristan Wirfs, the Bucs right tackle, that's the bigger matchup. Like, Tom Brady's like, okay, dude, like, I know you want to sack me. Join the list. Every defensive lineman that I've ever played has wanted to sack me. So you better be able to deal with Tristan Wirfs and Donovan Smith before you get to me. And I think that's the bigger challenge in this matchup. And don't be surprised if you look up and it's halftime and it's the Bucs 14, the Washington football team 10.
Yeah.
And it's a dogfight because the Washington defense is nasty. Like, those four guys up front, man, they are outstanding, and they're going to give the Bucs all they can handle up front.
Yeah, it's interesting because Brady's actually one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the league, but in the Saints game, the offensive line looked like huge weaknesses both times. So you think that Chase Young coming, like, you think that D-line will have some success?
Yeah, just because I think it's a bad matchup. If you look at it, like they can go Payne, Allen, Ioannidis, Sweat, Young, and like that. Like, those are tough matchups no matter where you put them. And the Bucs offensive line is not the most, like, Tristan Wirfs is really good, Marpet Jensen. But when you start talking about matchups, it's going to be Donovan Smith against Chase Young.
Yeah.
Hey, Donovan Smith is my neighbor. Like, he lives right behind me. When he walks by the house, I think he's a basketball player. Like, he's not an overly huge guy. Now, he's 300 pounds. But when you look at Chase Young, I'm telling you, that dude is built like I've never seen.
He's
going to give Donovan Smith all he can handle. It's going to be a good matchup.
Boog, outside of the playoffs, there's still a lot of other NFL news going on, and I wanted to ask you about, just to expound on a tweet that you had where, look, there's a lot of talk going on about Tua Tagovailoa right now, right? And you tweeted that we truly live in a microwave society, that this is even a conversation. What are your thoughts on Tua after year one?
Well, it's year one. How many games did he start? 8, 7, 8? And all of a sudden now we want to put out a referendum on a quarterback that's a little over a year removed from major hip surgery. We just live in a society, man, because we see quarterbacks like a Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow come out and have instantaneous success.
Yeah.
And so we assume that everybody has to have that. And it's not always that way. Sometimes you got to grow into the position. Drew Brees didn't start his first game of his career. He kind of grew into it, and now he's a Hall of Fame player. And I think at Tua's best, he is a left-handed Drew Brees. And so Tua will be fine. He's going to be okay. I'm not concerned about Tua whatsoever, man. So everyone out there just need to pump the brakes and, just relax a little bit, man. Tua's going to be fine. But, people are just alarmed. Well, maybe maybe Miami should take a quarterback at 3 or 4. I'm like, stop it. Come on. Just stop it.
I mean, look, to your point, Boog, just look at the Josh Allen transformation from year 2 to 3. I mean, we're going to talk about it later, show, but it is drastic. You have to allow room for growth with these guys. Last one, Boog. The Hall of Fame finalists were announced, and it's kind of crazy, but you got a lot of former teammates up in that thing. I mean, there's Manning, Reggie Wayne, John Lynch, Rondé Barber. Anything you want to say about any of these cats?
I think they're all worthy. Hopefully they all get in. They were all great teammates. And when it's all said and done, think about this, T-Bob. I may have played with 10 or 11 Hall of Famers when it's all said and done.
That's wild. Yeah, that's completely crazy. So I was a short little fat kid that got to play fullback in the wishbone back in the day. And so I was a bit obsessed with Mike Allstott. Did Mike Allstott ever run you over?
No, because I was smart enough to get out of the way.
There you go. Booger McFarland at ESPN Booger. Boog, thanks so much, man. Enjoy the playoffs this weekend. It's brought to you by Central Plumbing, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, bud.
All right, Boog, take it easy, my friend. Okay, when we get back here on OTB, we are going to close out hour number 2, get you set for hour number 3 here on 105.1 94.7 ESPN.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Go to LanoisAgency.com, Lanoix agency.com. That's how you spell Lanois. Look, it's a one-stop insurance shop, man. You want to bundle your home and your auto. Maybe you're a small business owner. You need some protection. You need flood insurance, right? Even if you don't technically live in a flood zone, like you're not legally required to have it. I don't, but I still get my flood insurance through Lanois. Why? Because they got me that max coverage policy at a rate that's great. And so I have that peace of mind. And when you're talking about insurance, what do you want, right? You want peace of mind. You want to make sure that you're covered in terms of any sort of disaster. And you want to know that your agent is going to work for you, right? With your best interest at heart. And that's what they do at Lanois. They customize policies for your specific needs. When you have to file a claim, they work with your best interests at the fore. They actively save you money all the time without you lifting a finger. Trust me when I say if you make the switch, you will be happy. Just have the conversation. Go to LanoisAgency.com, LanoisAgency.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens. Make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Join us on Thursday night for Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Come see us for happy hours. We recap LSU basketball's game against Georgia and look ahead to the sports weekend. Tune in at 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I feel like this is like an unlicensed Avengers theme song. Like this is like a theme song from like an Avengers cartoon.
I don't know what this is.
It's just a vibe that I get.
It's in the rotator.
Yeah, it's in the rotator. Like the rest of it. You got to have that unlicensed music. Happy birthday to Nick Cage, man. Man, artistry that cannot be contained.
I can't tell you the last time I saw a Nick Cage movie. It has been a long time. Does he even make movies anymore?
Oh, he makes movies.
Does he?
He makes a ton of movies. But I guess to your point, I haven't seen. I'm trying to think about the most recent. Well, he was a voice in Into the Spider-Verse. He had a small role in that. Did you see that?
No, but I mean, I'm not necessarily talking about just his voice. I mean,
you're talking about like full Nick, full Nick Cage
this
experience.
Is Nick Cage.
The one that jumps to my head, though, admittedly, Musso, to your point, this is over half a decade now. I think is Kick-Ass, where he was Hit Girl's dad, Big Daddy.
He was in that.
Can we get a recent Nick Cage filmography? What am I missing?
The first one that popped into my head was Ghost Rider, and that was really old.
I never saw Ghost Rider.
That was the first one that was like most recent that I was like, I think I watched that.
I feel like he has an interesting one out right now, or maybe got some interesting things cooking up.
He came out with Willy's Wonderland. That's his most recent one.
Okay. What's it called? Willy's Wonderland?
Anything else? Like okay, the same.
The Croods. He is the
voice in the Croods. Croods is pretty good. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's got a little bit of that Cage charisma in the dad. Is there anything more recent that was big like Kick-Ass that we would recognize? And I'm guessing you're working through quite a pile of movies here, right? Because he works a lot. We just haven't seen a lot of it.
No, the Spider-Verse is probably his biggest most recent.
Yeah, I figured. Which, a reminder, if you have not seen Into the Spider-Verse, it is absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed talking to Boog just now. So it's interesting, right? We're talking about Chase Young versus Tom Brady, and this is something that I'm getting really excited about, right? Chase Young calling out Tom Brady, and I love it for multiple reasons. First off, I love that he didn't back down, right? They asked him about it yesterday. He said, quote, "I play ball. I'm excited to go against the best. The media, it's their job to stir it up. If you know me, I'm excited for every game. Tom Brady, think I'm not excited to play against the GOAT? You tripping. I'm not going to apologize for saying I won Tom." And I love that attitude. That's the attitude that you have to have. I find the quote from Ron Rivera pretty intriguing as well. He says, quote, "They'll have fun with it. You've got to chalk it up to youthful exuberance. But that's who Chase is. I do cringe, but at the same time, I smile at it because he loves playing the game. I think that's what this is all about. That's who Chase is. That's the kind of guy we want on our football team." So here you have Rivera supporting his young superstar, right? But he has enough experience that he kind of knows you don't give a psychopath like Tom any extra incentive, right? That's why he can't help but cringe a little bit. So what you have here, y'all, the Jordan meme is in full effect with Tom Brady right now, okay? He took it personally. What I love, I like how Arian said it too, right? He said, we'll have our hands full, but it's one of those games where you better watch what you wish for. And let's talk about Brady, right? He is the ultimate badass. Danny, look at the Instagram link. Don't forget, look at the Instagram link that I put in that last segment right there, because this is what I always think about when I think about Tom Brady at his most badass. It's a picture of a foggy New England game, and the quote is incredible. Quote, "Fate whispers to the warrior, you cannot withstand the storm. The warrior whispers back, I am the storm." I mean, if that doesn't give you goosebumps, dude, and if this all just doesn't excite you, right? The old champion sitting atop his pirate ship in Tampa, awaiting him in the nation's capital as a young Viking champion, a man who stands 6'5", 264 with a 6'8" wingspan, who didn't even test at Pro Day because he's such a badass he didn't have to. He said, I'm not training for the 40, I'm training for football. It's the young wolf versus the old alpha. The young wolf is hungry for his shot, but as Bruce Arians said, be careful what you wish for. I cannot wait to see who wins this matchup, if Chase can really get to, and can that D-line affect Tom Brady. I will say this. Young is in top form. How about this? If you look at the last 7 games of this season, Chase Young is second in the NFL in terms of pass rush win rate. He is winning 27% of the time in that span, second in the league again. So he is basically winning a quarter of all of his pass rush reps, which on this level is massive. So let's go. The young wolf versus the old alpha. Who will reign supreme? Brady's a psychopath. We'll see what he ends up doing to Chase Young and the Washington football team. Coming up next hour, it's going to be a great OT hour. We're going to dive into some of that basketball we missed. We got Andrew Lopez stopping by, and I want to remind you to go to Downsville Glass and Body. If you need any work on your vehicle, you go to dgbauto.com, downsvillglassbody.com, Downsville Glass Body on Facebook. Remember, they are a one-stop car shop. You need an inspection sticker, oil change, simple, complex, it don't matter. You get in an accident, though, and you know you're going to DGB. Why? Because they'll drive to the accident site, tow you from it for free, fix the vehicle with the insurance company, and then tow it back to you and drop it off fixed and brand new. The towing is free. So what are you waiting for? If you get in an accident, you immediately know where to go. And that's to our friends over there at DG&B, DonaldsGlassandBody.com, DonaldsGlassandBody.com. 2 hours in the books, 1 hour left here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens. Make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, T-Bob, sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans, so we're highlighting the fans that do it the most.
Every week, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out, 1045ESPN.com.
It's the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Toyotathon is happening right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Get into a 20 Camry for $297 a month. Come on down to Happy Town for Toyotathon. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Thursday, January the 7th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see cloudy skies with a high of 53. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Brought to you by Carriages. Coming up today on OTB OT, ESPN's Andrew Lopez talks New Orleans Pelicans at 9:30. Follow today's show on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch it live at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel and interact inside the Bayou 4 chat. And make sure you get subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. New content is posted there daily. OTBOT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back. OTBOT. That's right. We are into the third hour. Though it's not much different than the rest of today's show, given that Jordy hasn't been here all day. We'll be back tomorrow. Second negative test came in. He's good to go. Shout out Jay. Looking forward to having him back tomorrow. For now, it's me, Musso, and Danny. And generally by the third hour, we stumble into, some uncharted territory. Yesterday, it was still a conversation that never quite got to finish, which was the best Star Wars fights of all time. We'll have to revisit this. Today, we may have stumbled upon our next tier list, or something that can enter the list, at least, the hopper, and that is Nick Cage movies. It is his birthday today, which means we have Nick Cage on the mind. Danny, if I'm not mistaken, you just saw Con Air for the first time, right? 1997's Con Air. What did you think?
It was very cringy. Like, a lot of parts were very cringy. A lot of parts were absurd. It was just a very absurd movie.
Put the bonnet down.
Yeah, and his accent was really bad the whole
Yeah,
time.
okay, so his accent was bad, but how good was his hair? I mean, dude,
10 out of 10.
The long locks, granted, it's fake. I mean, but hey, it looked badass. Underrated parts of Con Air. Them making a psychopathic killer in Steve Buscemi. They try to make him like a sympathetic character. where you're like, oh, look, he didn't murder that little girl that he was eating and having tea with. That's really sweet. Dave Chappelle, obviously before he's really Dave Chappelle, right? That's kind of when he's in his like half-baked come up. I really like Dave Chappelle in that movie. And then Kenya beat John Malkovich as Cyrus the Virus. I mean, he's out there just having fun, crash landing planes on the Vegas Strip. Con Air is a very fun movie. I think about other Nick Cage movies that I love. Leaving Las Vegas, if you want a more dramatic Nick Cage, he plays an alcoholic about as good as it can be played. It's a very intense movie. I have never seen Raising Arizona, which I know is on me. I've also never seen The Rock.
Whoa, you need to go watch Raising Arizona.
I've heard that.
That's a good movie.
I've heard that. And I believe he won an Oscar for Raising Arizona.
Good film, man.
Unless I'm wrong. I know The Rock is like a classic action movie, 96, Connery and Company. Definitely need to see that. I love adaptation. We mentioned Kick-Ass earlier. I mean, can you beat Gone in 60 Seconds? That made me think that cars are so cool between that and Fast and the Furious and like Angelina Jolie hopping on the stick shift. I loved it. I actually saw Wicker Man in theater. Had no idea what to expect. I did not see it, ironically. We wanted to go see a horror movie. We were like, oh, let's go see Wicker Man. And then I'm sitting there an hour and 15 into this thing, and I'm watching Nick Cage wearing a full bear suit, roundhouse kicking multiple women, running through the woods, and then being trapped by a bunch of bees before being burned alive. And I was just kind of taken aback, like, what the hell am I watching? Wicker Man, the remake, is not a good movie, but it is fascinating. A movie that is fascinating, but is a good movie, in my opinion, made by Werner Herzog, Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans, deals with some after Katrina stuff. It is absurd. It is insane. It is over the top. It is the perfect vehicle for that Nick Cage, Nick Cage charisma, the absurdity. And then we arrive at what is easily the best Nick Cage movie that I have ever seen. I, again, on New Year's Eve, got very drunk and ended up at 3 a.m. watching the first 20 minutes of it because I do it all the time, and that is 1997's Face Off. I mean, are you kidding me? Has there ever been a better character than Castor Troy? Has there ever been a better character introduction than Castor Troy? Do yourself a favor tonight. I think Face Off's actually on Prime for free right now. If you have Amazon Prime, go watch the first 20 minutes of Face Off and recognize what a movie, just a movie storytelling masterpiece that opening 20 is. You know exactly who Castor Troy is by the end of that thing. And Nick Cage, you want to talk about just fully leaning into his quirks and his eccentricities? That's what it does. Look, National Treasure's fun. A lot of people talking about National Treasure. Sure, I like him. Lord of War is like a good movie that maybe you don't think about a lot. He's made a lot of them, dude. 110 movies for Nick Cage right now on the old resume, but some are better than others. And Face Off, in my opinion, it's just the best. I mean, Face Off, a movie that I could watch time and time again, and I don't think it gets old. It just stays super badass. Travolta had fun too. In that movie, but it's just hard to outshine the natural charisma of Nick Cage. Never saw Sorcerer's Apprentice, which Scott Dice is bringing up. So happy birthday to Nick Cage. Daniel Basham saying, I think we should take time each day and thank the Lord that we didn't get a Tim Burton Nick Cage Superman. I don't know if I'm going to agree with that, Danny, I don't know if I agree with that, Daniel, because, I mean, Man of Steel's not that good. It's all right. It's got cool action. Superman Returns by, Ratner, is not that good. Batman vs. Superman is not that good. So, like, if avoiding the Burton Cage Superman movie didn't lead to better Superman, look at that. You don't want to see where this was going? You don't want to see where this...
I really don't. I'm going to be honest.
There is no way that this, if you are watching on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube stream, Danny has brought up a very famous old picture of some testing shots for what Nick Cage would look like as Superman. And it is so Tim Burton 90s. Cage is incredibly pale, long shoulder-length hair, a very absurd tight-fitting Superman costume. I mean, come on, dude. We ended up with bad Superman movies anyway. If you don't want to see the direction that this thing was going, I can lead a horse to water. I can't make you have good opinions on Nick Cage. Yes, I'm talking to you, Trent Hill. You're a great DM, but you getting in the group text earlier, in the D&D group text, and trying to slander Nick Cage's resume and his good name, I will not stand for it. And so I, Daniel, am upset that we never got this version of Superman. It would have been fascinating to see. And look, DC doesn't know what they're doing with these movies anyway. They got a new Robert Pattinson Batman coming out, and at the same time, they're announcing that Michael Keaton is taking over as the DCEU Batman, as if the DCEU is actually a thing. Wonder Woman 2 was bad. Justice League was bad. I'm excited to see the Snyder Cut as a point of curiosity, but guess what? It's gonna be bad. I'm sorry to everybody out there that are DC fans. Look, I grew up a DC fan. I had to take DC over Marvel any day. I'm a major Green Lantern fan, but we got to call for what it is. The DC movies have been horrible. I think the Pattinson one could potentially be very good, though. Or at least the DC Universe movies have been horrible. Because Joker's awesome. Obviously, the Nolan Batman trilogy is fantastic. Here's what's interesting about the Michael Keaton news. I'm sorry, y'all. Now you just got my brain spinning. Michael Keaton news may mean that we're getting a live-action Batman Beyond, right? If there was ever an opportunity to do so, he can play that old Bruce Wayne. He's literally inhabited the character of Bruce Wayne previously in his life, and then maybe you get a young Terry McGinnis or whatever his name was. And that'd be cool. Sconer's overrated, says DC animated so good, though. I know, which is why it's kind of surprised they can't get it solved in the live action.
They should find a way to bring back Michelle Pfeiffer, too.
I wonder what Michelle Pfeiffer looks like nowadays. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm a sucker for nostalgia stuff, so sure. If you put Michelle Pfeiffer in there, too, I would be excited. Billy W. says, I'm excited to see Robert Pattinson as Batman. He has a good chin. I agree. That's one of the keys to filling out the cape and the cowl. I don't love his kind of emo sort of look in the trailer, but I do love when he's just ruthlessly beating the hell out of that guy. I think it looks pretty badass. Emil McClellan, Pattinson Batman feels like the Zodiac, which I'm down for. I remember one time hooking up with my wife in my vehicle, and I was in high school, and it was right after watching the Zodiac, and I straight up had to stop. We had to pull out of the empty business lot. I couldn't handle it. I thought for sure somebody's about to roll up on us, just like the Zodiac killer used to. It's one of the few times where fear overcame my horniness. So hopefully Batman won't have the same effect on me. Music in the YouTube chat says Keaton is coming in to replace Batfleck. He will be a Nick Fury figure. Yeah, that would make sense, right? Maybe you don't go full Batman Beyond, but you have. But who cares? Who's he going to rally? Who's he going to put together? I'm sorry, there's just no love for the DCEU, and I love my guys Brian Wood and Chad Metz. They host a very good Movies on the Brain podcast that you should check out. But, Chad, I'm sorry, bro. The DCEU, it's just not there, and Wonder Woman is really bad. Billy W., I think everyone forgot Robert Pattinson was also Edward Cullen. Look, man, those Twilight movies, Twilight in general, is a hell of a thing. You're talking about a 200-year-old vampire falling in love with a 17-year-old high school girl. Outside of being problematic for various reasons, do you know how little respect I have for the character of Edward Cullen? I want everybody to do something for me. I want you to go try to talk to a person that is 10 years younger than you, okay? And I want you to think about just how hard that is, how hard it is to relate to them. You cannot relate to them. Now extrapolate that to 200 years and realize how weird the story of Twilight is. I said the baseball scene was kind of cool, and I read all the books, so I guess I can't be that much of a hater. All right. When we get back, I don't know what the hell just happened, but when we get back here on Battinson, how did I never arrive at that? Music points it out. I mean, that's the name of that Batman. We have Batfleck and we have Battinson. Yes. Stop shaking your head. Absolutely. Oh, that's incredible. Okay. When we get back here on Off the Bench, we'll talk some basketball as LSU and the Pelicans found themselves on opposite sides of the win-loss column last night. And we got Angie Lopez coming up at 9:30 as well. It did get weird quick. Back with more on OTBOT next.
OTB, OT. Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
Get an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Toyotathon is happening right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Get into a 20 Highlander for $4,600 off MSRP. Come on down to Happy Town for Toyotathon. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Yo, join us for a Thursday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney presented by Richards Honda from noon to 3. LSU has 2 new offensive coaches. Could they have a new defensive coordinator on Thursday? Join us for that and much more on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back. OTBOT. Looking for the comment I wanted to kick this off with. Skona is overrated. Great username. Says DC really should have found someone from Marvel to come in and run the DC cinematic universe. And then he hits the nail on the head. DC tried to do what Marvel did over a decade in like 3 years, and they're wondering why it's failed. Yeah, look, man, that is the difference, right? They tried to play catch up. It's no different than cooking in that sense, right? Like when you cook, when you rush things, that's when things go bad. If you try to make a roux in 20 minutes, it's going to be okay. You can probably pull it off. Like, I mean, you definitely can pull it off. I know people who do, but it's not going to be as good as if you sit over it for 2 hours and you make it right. If you slow cook your eggs versus flash frying them, you're going to make them better. If you slow cook pretty much anything versus trying to get it done as quickly as possible, you're going to make it better. And so when Doomsday becomes a random 15-minute plot device in a movie off the bat, the thing that killed Superman very famously back in the 90s, yeah, that's called trying to microwave it a little bit, okay? And so there was no depth there. It's also one of the reasons why the Star Wars approach to Mandalorian, I think, has been so much more successful and will continue to pay dividends for them. All right, I know a lot of you probably freaking out, though, with the nerd talk, so we will talk a little sports here as the LSU basketball team with a great win last night. I know that some people are coming out on the other side of this a bit negative. I'm maybe a bit more bullish, right? A win's a win, especially in the SEC. Going up 2-1 is huge. They made the plays they needed to in order to win the game. To me, the clutch MVP last night, though we're going to talk about Cam Thomas a lot, it was Javonte Smart. He had the 2 huge threes when you were down 6 and things were looking very dark. He got a steal to set up his own second 3. He's the one who actually, a lot probably forgot this, he's the one who had the assist on the big Cam Thomas 3 in overtime. Or speaking of assists, also credit to Trenton Watford, how he set Javonte Smart up on that second game timing 3 with the drive, the penetration to dish it back out to the perimeter. Like Trenton Watford, he struggled at the line yesterday. Whatever, it's the exception, not the rule. He's a 78% free throw shooter. Yesterday was an aberration. But his court vision and ability to distribute the ball for a big man continues to impress me. So Javonte Smart would be my clutch time MVP, but everybody made plays, right? Darius Days, a huge offensive rebound. He had a big 3 himself. And look, it was sloppy, right? It was sloppy. And I wanted to try to dive in to some of that sloppiness and see where you can fix it, because Will Wade always talks about the 6-minute game. And what do you do in those final 6 minutes will ultimately decide how your season goes. And so I like to dive into the play-by-play and just do some statistical math. Just add up how things went in the final 6 minutes. So if you look at the final 6 minutes to overtime, you entered that portion of the game tied at 72. Within that stretch, you out-rebounded UGA 6-5. You were 2-2 on free throws to 1-1 for UGA. The bad news is, and what you have to fix, is you turned it over 4 times, while the Bulldogs only turned it over twice. In overtime, I think both teams got a bit tired. Both teams had 6 fouls apiece in overtime. But ultimately, look, if you just look at the final 6 minutes in overtime, you out-rebounded UGA 12-10, which in a situation where every possession matters, that is the difference in the game right there. And mainly, you made enough of your free throws to win the game. Nothing too spectacular. You finish 8 of 12, but you did make enough. And a lot of the reason why was because of Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas, man, we talked about him yesterday, that you don't want to miss an opportunity to watch this cat play. I mean, he's averaging 26 as a true freshman, 6th in the nation, only freshman in the top 50. And he lived up to that billing last night. Did not shoot it well. 4 points in the first half. Surely he wouldn't get there. Only he then dropped 14 in the second half, and then he drops 8 in OT. So on a night where he doesn't have it, he still finds a way, to the tune of 15 of 16 from the line, to the tune of a huge 3-pointer in overtime where shots haven't been falling. He made the one that he had to have. Again, I love watching this cat play because of how implacable he is. Stone-faced killer. Doesn't get up, doesn't get down, remains even keel. And the kind of psychological effect that has on an opponent, I think, is fantastic. And so when you mention the team going 8 of 12 from the line to win the game, really it was Cam Thomas in those final 6 minutes in overtime going 7 of 8 from the line with the game on the line that won you that game. Now, I know he was very upset that he missed one of those final 2, but hey, man, it's a math game. Eventually you're going to miss. Had he made something like 40-something consecutive free throws going into that miss last night? Maybe I can get a fact check from
42.
chat.
It was 42.
He had made 42.
Seven more than the record.
I mean, bruh, this cat is something different. So you want to watch this guy every opportunity you get, and last night you had an opportunity, and they come away with a 94-92 win. Things that disappointed me. Yes, it got way too sloppy in crunch time, right? Too many turnovers, too many fouls. I mean, Moose, why did LSU look so unprepared to handle a full court press? That was kind of shocking. Like, I mean, whether it was throwing it into the corner,
that was
failing to advance the ball, except for when they got it to Watford. Like none of the better free throw shooters coming back.
Look, they got bailed out on that steal call. The kid did not step on the line. I cannot believe they didn't even review that.
No, I'd have been furious if I was a Georgia fan.
They did not look very prepared to handle that. You're correct.
LSU fans just remember that though on the steal that LSU got very lucky they didn't review because it would have been Georgia ball. We always remember when we get screwed. It's called confirmation bias. Right. We never remember when it helps us. So just log that in your head. Next time you're yelling about woe is me, the refs are always against us. You got a nice break in a big time this way.
And honestly, I thought the refs let both teams play for the most part last night in that game.
I feel like it got
there weren't a lot of whistles. There were towards the end.
It got a little tacky in overtime, but
for the majority of the game though.
Yeah, and the thing about that was it was tacky both ways. There's at least a consistent tackiness, which is ideally what you want. So there's some bad. There's a lot of cleanup to be done, but there's also a lot of good, right? I don't think the bad should outshine the good. And the bottom line, they moved to 7-2 and get a big look. There's a big difference between 2-1 in the SEC and 1-2 in the SEC. So nice job by Cam Thomas and that LSU basketball team. On the opposite side of the equation, you had another tough loss for the New Orleans Pelicans. It was actually a nice comeback. I mean, you were down 10 for a lot of second half, down 10 with 7 minutes left to go. But it's so disappointing for multiple reasons in how you lost. First off, to just really zero in on a singular play. Danny, if you look up Pelicans highlights, I'm sorry, I should have had to do this ahead of time because this might be tough to find live. But at the end of the YouTube Pelicans highlights video, there's the rebound that sets up the game-winning free throws for Oklahoma City. And it's a pretty bad look. You have Steven Adams, Zion Williamson, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker all under the basket. OKC's down 1, shot goes up, misses, and Al Horford literally surrounded by all three. Old man Al Horford manages to go up and grab that board from all three of them, dishes it back out. Next thing you know, Thunder fouls. They go to the line, they make 2, they're up 1, and then for some inexplicable reason, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who was 4 of 15 on the night and 0 of 4 from 3, took a 3 to try to win the game. Look, man, Nas always had the most green light, but you can't take that shot. And I know maybe you're saying it's a bit ironic because yesterday we talked about how Brandon Ingram was shouldering too much of a load in clutch time and taking too many shots. But I still want Brandon Ingram shooting it in that position. He goes for 24 last night, 24 and 11. I mean, fantastic like he always is. 9 of 15 from the field. His mid-range two-point game is unstoppable. Down 1, why would that not be who you're looking at to make that play? Just his head scratching. In terms of spreading the crunch time production around and things that I enjoyed, I love seeing Zion making big plays in the fourth. He was the one who made an excellent shot, tough shot. I mean, dude, his ability to finish around the rim is absurd. It's wild. He's got so much kind of nuance when he gets down there. He can finish from so many different angles. His touch when he's down there, it's like a beautiful shooter's touch, only kind of in layup form a little bit. So I loved a lot of things that saw out of Zion last night. Finishes with 29 points, with 12 of 17 shooting. And he did better in clutch time, right? He did better down the stretch, which is great. Like, Brandon Ingram and Zion are the guys that you need to close out games. Unfortunately, outside of closing games out, you need more from anybody else, right? I mean, when you look at this Pelicans team, Brandon Ingram's kicking ass. Zion kicking ass. Steven Adams kicking ass. Bledsoe and Ball have been a mixed bag. You ideally, if you want to be a true playoff team, you want to see more consistency out of the guards. But the problem right now looks like the bench. Last night, this Thunder outscored you 40-18 on the bench. And J.J. Redick's in an extended slump. He ends up leaving the game with an injury last night. Like, the Pelicans must find some scoring production from someone not named Zion Williamson or Brandon Ingram. While we're talking about the bench, though, credit to a couple of guys. Credit to Josh Hart grabbing 10 boards in 28 minutes off the bench last night when he didn't make. He was 0 for 4 from the field, but at least he was being productive in some manner. And look, if they're going to get to where they want to be, they're going to right this ship. I know Stan Van Gundy was talking about it comes down to the defense, and they're top 5 in the league there, but they can always be better. But to me, it's you just got to find scoring out of that second group. Like they tried running this second group with Zion still in there, and it's not paying dividends. That was when the Thunder started to separate quite a bit. Did you see the Steven Adams behind the back pass on the breakaway, though? Because that was awesome, and that almost made everything yesterday worth it. We'll see. Don't panic, Pelicans fans. You've been through this before. Growing pains. Still a lot of good. There's a path to being successful. You're 4-4. Last night sucks. Actually, it's been a pretty sucky week, but I do believe in my core that better times are ahead. And that's mainly because we'll talk to Andrew Lopez next here on Off the Bench. OTBOT. More coming up next.
OTB OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hey T-Bob, sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans, so we're highlighting the fans that do it the most.
Every week, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out, 1045ESPN.com.
It's the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. There's a newest member of the Heisman fraternity, and the Saints are back on the practice field getting ready for the wild card game against the Bears. Join us, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB OT. T-Bob, Musso, Danny hanging out with you. Somebody's talking about the action in Man of Steel. Look, let's be clear. Zack Snyder is an incredible visual filmmaker, okay? The action in Man of Steel, the action in Batman vs. Superman, the action in Watchmen is probably the best comic book action brought to live action that I've ever seen, maybe. No, obviously some of the recent Avengers movies might have something to say about that, but I still think it's absolutely fantastic. Where Zack Snyder struggles, unfortunately, is just everywhere else. If you give me like 2 hours of Zack Snyder action scenes, I would actually be more into that than him trying to do anything with any sort of emotional weight to it. Speaking of emotional weight, sometimes the Pelicans can cause you to carry around quite a bit. And it's been a rough week for the boys. And so right now we're going to talk to one of the guys that covers the team for ESPN, Andrew Lopez. Check out his work on, you guessed it, ESPN.com. Drew, what's going on, man? How you doing this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm probably better than the Pels are doing. Probably better than some Pels fans out there, but yeah. I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, so we did a quick little recap of last night's game, last segment. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. How Al Horford came down with that rebound, I'll never know. Why Nickeil Alexander-Walker takes the last shot and it's a three, I don't quite know either. But before we get there, when you look at last night and really the last couple of games, what is the thing that is most holding this Pelicans team back?
It's the thing that actually helped them through the first 5 games, and that's defense. And their defense has slipped a little bit. We were asking Stan Van Gundy questions last night, right? And he's like, guys, I was a member of the media for 2 years doing some games. He goes, you're always going to look to offense. He goes, there's one number. There's only one number you need to talk about tonight, 27. We gave up 27 fast break points to a team who was averaging 7.5.
Ooh.
He's like, we don't need to talk about anything else. That's literally the only thing we need to talk about. I think we got our first Stan Van Gundy curse word of the year.
Hey,
that's how upset he was.
What word was it? Just curious.
It was BS. I think I can get away with that.
Yeah, you're good.
He still got a ways to go before he catches up to JJ in the Pelicans curse word rankings for this season. But he was upset, and he was like, and the players we talked to, it's like it comes down to a want to when you're trying to improve defense. It's not a matter of, they don't think it's a matter of scheme. It's just a matter of getting back and stopping guys. And I think that's kind of where I think the major issue is for them right now.
So I wasn't aware of the 27, the 7.5 average. That is horrible. What about this? Some of the other ideas that I've seen kind of bandied about, it just feels like they They need some sort of consistent scoring production, not named Zion Williamson or Brandon Ingram. Like, those two guys have been fantastic. Really, Ingram, Zion, and Steven Adams, to me, have been fantastic. Where else, though? Like who is going to be the answer there? Who could maybe be the guy that steps up and gives you that scoring?
I think you have to look to the bench. I mean, because Lonzo's going to give you 15, 16 a night. Bled's going to give you 15, 16 a night. Steven Adams can give you 10 a night. That's fine. But you need the bench to start stepping up. Obviously, J.J. Redick has had his struggles so far this season. He actually gets hurt last night, doesn't make a shot. Nickeil Alexander-Walker has to play a lot. That's why Nickeil Alexander-Walker was in there at the end of the game. He was kind of in a rhythm. He ended up getting the last shot there because, JJ's out, and 2, Brandon Ingram got double teamed. I mean, it was the right play for Brandon Ingram to make. You can, discuss whether or not he should have taken the step back 3 or whether he should have, just taken a 2 because that's all he needed.
I don't want to be hypocritical myself because we just talked about yesterday on this program how, like, Brandon Ingram's maybe taking too many clutch shots and he needs to make the right play. And so, that's a good point. You could argue that that's what it was right there. I just hate that you have Naw, who was already 0 of 4. Whatever. Naw has the greenest light of all time. The only greener light I've ever seen is probably Marshall Henderson on the college level. Like, he ain't scared, which I can appreciate, but it hurts. It just hurt last night.
Yeah, and look, in that play, that's what you got to go with. You got to live with the shot. And as Stan said, at the end of the day, it was a wide open shot.
Yeah, fair.
But the way Zion was cooking Darius Bazley throughout the game, I would have liked to have just seen them try to draw something up for Zion and get to the basket because, one, you only need 1 point. So if Zion gets fouled, he's only got to make 1 or 2 free throws. That's his shot now. I mean, if Brandon Ingram's going to be your closer, you also have to look at Zion Williamson, who was just able to get to the basket at will. That's where I would have gone. I would have tried to get some sort of action to get it to Zion instead of going with a Brandon shot.
Yep.
Brandon is now 8 of 30 in the fourth quarter this year.
Damn.
Has not made a three-pointer in the fourth quarter this year. I expect those averages to even out. Last year, he shot 46%, 41 from 3, 85 from the line, and averaged about 6 a game in the fourth quarter, which is second on the team, only behind Zion. But I still think I would have liked to have seen Zion get that last touch. But I can't be mad with
especially down 1.
Wide open 3.
I mean, especially down 1, right? I mean, like, that's the opportunity to do it right there. Let him hit a game-winning shot. Have you ever seen anything like? Because now I feel like we're finally seeing, like, full-string Zion. Have you ever seen anything like his ability to finish around the rim from any different angle?
It's ridiculous. There's at least twice a game where he takes off and I goes, all right, this is a miss, and it goes in, and it's like, how? Like, I don't understand what's happening right now. Of where this is coming from, how this is happening, and so his ability to kind of wiggle around, it reminds you of like a small guard,
yes,
who is getting in there and has to contort his body to score around the rim because that's the only way he can score. For Zion, I guess, being a 6'6" power forward, when you're going in against the trees, you do need to have a little bit of that guard mentality. So, but no, it's ridiculous. Like I said, there's at least 1 or 2 times a game I'm like, I don't know how he took off from that spot and made it to the rim and converted that successfully.
I mean, yeah, one of the ones last night to me, Danny just showed it on the YouTube stream, but it's the one where he basically jumps to the free throw line and then hits like a one-handed floater.
Yeah.
I mean, it drops right in. And I loved seeing him perform in the fourth, kind of lead that comeback, perform at crunch time. So, like, look, last night hurt in a lot of ways, but there are a lot of building blocks to still be very excited about. What do you think about the guard play thus far, Andrew, out of Lonzo and Bledsoe? What's your evaluation thus far?
Needs to be more consistent. That's kind of my main takeaway so far. Is it needs to be more consistent. You would like to see. Alonzo's shooting percentages get up. You'd like to see Led do this kind of thing against a team that isn't the Toronto Raptors. I think I had a guy tell me the other day that basically if Eric Bledsoe played the Toronto Raptors every night, he'd be an all-star. His shooting percentages are coming up right now. I think he's shooting like 38 or 39% from three. I think it's technically best on the team so far. You don't want to have a situation where Eric Bledsoe is your best three-point shooter. You need some other guys to step up. Lonzo right now just pulled it up. Yeah, Eric Bledsoe is the top three-point shooter on the team. Lonzo, you want to see those numbers come up. The consistency is what you want to see there. And I think on the other side of that is the starting guard play has been great. The bench guard play has not been very good. Josh is, I think, averaging 7 or 8 rebounds a game. He's doing phenomenal on the boards, helping out there.
He had 10 last night in like 28 minutes.
Yeah, so I think he's technically probably second on the team in rebounding at 8.5 a game. But he's shooting 36% from the field. Noah's shooting 38% from the field. JJ shooting 27. All of those numbers you would like to see get up a little bit, because those are going to be the guys who you need to step up. Kind of like we talked about earlier. You need more bench production, whether that's Noah, Josh, JJ. I do think JJ's will correct itself. I know JJ's 36, but JJ has a track record that you can't deny in terms of he's going to get it right eventually. But some of those other guys got to step up. We got in you got to see Stan start to get these guys some easier shots, maybe. And I think that's the next step that this team has to take.
Two things that I love from last night. Danny just said in the chat, Zion Saint sneakers were fantastic. And then, did the Steven Adams behind-the-back pass make the loss worth it, Andrew?
You know what? Every time Steven breaks out a move that I'm not expecting, it's just so much fun. Like the Euro from the first game. The behind-the-back pass, the fact that he was able to get a triple-double last night. Steven Adams got a triple-double.
Wait, what? I did not even realize that. That just flew under the radar.
And at one point, he had, I believe, 5 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, which sent me trying to find who was the last person to have a rebound assist double-double, which was actually Kylo Quinn, of all people, not Draymond Green like I thought it was going to be. But yeah, he ends up finishing with a triple-double, and he was the one who kind of talked about the defense last night, and then Will kind of asked him, hey, I know you probably, it doesn't matter in a loss, and he's like, yeah, man, I wish we would have bloody won, mate. And that's just a great Steven line, and I just feel like that's why everybody loves Steven.
I had no idea Kylo Ren was so good at basketball. Huh, get it? Star Wars? Okay, we're going to go. Andrew, thank you so much, man. Real quick on the way out, what do you think? The Pelicans, they bounce back against the Hornets tomorrow, final fourth game in a row at home, final game of the homestand. How are you feeling about it?
I would expect them to bounce back. It is the Lonzo versus LaMelo show.
Oh, yeah?
I do think that they're going to try to kind of get Lonzo going early to give him the up on little bro.
Oh, I love it, man. Andrew Lopez, follow him on Twitter. Check out his work on ESPN.com. Pelicans insider for the big boys over there at ESPN. Andrew, thanks so much, man.
No problem.
All right, later, brah. When we get back, closing out OTB OT next.
OTB OT. Off the Bench, hanging with Esther and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder, Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business.
I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Toyotathon is happening right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Get into a 20 Camry for $297 a month. Come on down to Happy Town for Toyotathon. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Join us on Thursday night for Jimmy Ott's Game Time, live from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Come see us for happy hours. We recap LSU basketball's game against Georgia and look ahead to the sports weekend. Tune in at 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Oh. Welcome back. Huh. I'm looking at the chat here. I think people are talking about maybe how Pat McAfee's chat starts an hour before the show. Should we start maybe opening up chat just a little early? Let people kind of trickle in there. Just some food for future thought. Welcome back to OTB OT. T-Bob Moose from Danny hanging out with you. Big thanks to Andrew Lopez, Booger McFarland, Chef Michael Johnson, everybody else who stopped by today. Look, it was a really fun show. We really ran the gamut today. We started talking about these LSU hires. Fingers crossed, boys and girls. To non-gender specific boys. Fingers crossed that you can land Marcus Freeman. I think he would be a home run hire. I think that Pete and Mangus are certainly interesting, and as I said, Schrodinger's coach. I'm choosing to be optimistic about it and choose to enjoy the logic and think that it makes sense. But it's by no means what you would consider a can't miss. Freeman feels like a can't miss. Now, anything can go awry, right? Even the best laid plans of mice and men can go awry. But again, Freeman, from a resume standpoint, from an anecdotal standpoint, from any standpoint, like the one flaw is that he's so good that you might only get him for a year, maybe 2, before he gets a head job. And again, if you're Marcus Freeman and you're deciding between Notre Dame and LSU, why don't you come to the school that has Eli Ricks and Derek Stingley Jr. on the outside? The best cornerback tandem in the entire country, and I don't know that it's even particularly close. What he could do with that. I mean, for a guy as creative as Freeman, all the blitzes that he brings from so many different angles, if you tell him he's got 2 guys that can go man up with anybody on the edge and win those battles, he can get pretty freaky deaky, man. And so I'm hoping that the interview goes well today. Those are on set on Tuesday. We got our top offensive targets here. Boom. They landed him. Now can they land their top defensive target? Admittedly, much easier to land Jake Peets and DJ Mangus than it will be to land Marcus Freeman. I keep wanting to say Marcus Phoenix. Do we have any Gears of War fans in here? No? Damn. Gears of War was a game changer back in 2006, boys. Gears 3, I still think, is one of the best multiplayer shooters of all time. I'll never forget back in college rocking 5 Xboxes on 5 televisions at midnight the night that Gears came out, and then being exhausted at practice the next day of the week we played West Virginia, and Coach Miles getting pissed at us because everybody's basically falling asleep on the practice field. But I'm like, hey, Coach, look, dude, priorities, bro. Do you know how tight Gears was last night? No more host advantage, dedicated servers. Are you kidding me, Coach? Keep up. So shout out Marcus Freeman, shout out Marcus Phoenix, shout out Cliffy B, shout out Epic Games, who've now gone on to take over the world, and shout out to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge, which is the dealership so nice. I've gone there twice for both the Toyota Sienna, got that minivan for the fam. It's a game changer, y'all. Now leasing a 2020 Camry as well. It was unexpected, but I wanted something a bit affordable. It's still nice, and it was like the perfect opportunity, man. So check it out. Maybe you end up going the Toyota certified used vehicle route. Maybe you take advantage of some of the great new deals. Maybe you just need a rent. Ask for Miss Lisa Sessions in the rentals department. They got your back, and we got your back here on Off the Bench, which is why we'll be back, including Jordy Collada, the Kingmaker, back tomorrow here on OTB. So we'll see you then. Huge thank you to everybody in the chat, man. I cannot say enough how much what y'all do helps. And then obviously Musso and Danny behind the glass doing the production work are the best. See you tomorrow.
OTB, OT.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care.